Here is your podcast.
You know, I've been doing this show 9 years. In the beginning, it was great. I got to show up and just talk and leave. That was fantastic. But now Mex sends me this theme song, tells me to put my own voice in it. Lily shows up. She doesn't produce a goddamn thing. All she does is laugh, turn around, and go home. The only thing I don't wind up doing for this show is listen to it. That's your fucking job. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. It's gonna be quiet. This is a quiet show. This is episode silence. This is my hush for all you Buffy fans out there. By the way, I've not seen a minute of Buffy. I've not seen the movie. I've not seen the TV series. I only know that there's a reference about like the best episode ever was a show called Hush, and I think it's a fully silent episode, or there's monsters in it that don't talk, or something. I don't know. But if I've touched your nerd bone, I'm glad to do that this early in the show. I will warn you of a few things. First of all, like I said, it's going to be quiet. There won't be a lot of shouting. I don't think there will be. There might be. Who the fuck knows what'll happen with me, right? I'm going to try to make a conscious effort to slow myself down because, as you can tell, there's no Lily here right now, and I'll get to that in a second. But when she's not here, I tend to fill the silence, and I run a lot downhill verbally, and I don't know how much of that I have in me right now. I probably got it. And I know this is a lot of inside baseball and behind the curtain bullshit, but I mean, that's what we do here, right? I mean, I could talk about the Super Bowl for 45 minutes if you want me to do that, but go to other shows. There are other people celebrating and spiking the football and telling you about how great it was and how Lady Gaga has a little pooch belly and all these other things that people are upset about. Astonishing to me that even became an issue. Who the fuck? I am so glad I don't have a vagina. I mean, I'm disappointed I don't have a vagina because I would love to just fucking hang out all day with it and do cool things with it. But I'm glad I don't have it because you become this weird creature that's up for second guessing and people can point out your flaws without worry. And it's the fucking harshest, dumbest thing I've ever seen. I watched the halftime show. You know what I thought about it? I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. She danced around and she sang. That's what she does. That's her job. and then afterwards I hear everybody's so angry that she's not political. And I'm like, well, did you not see the beginning? She made it a point to sing This Land Is Your Land, which I think was devastatingly political in its simplicity because she was speaking to everybody in the world, not just to white dudes who think they own this country now. And please spare me your letters, or you can write me, I guess. It's not like I'm going to answer it. I'll read it though. But don't write mean things to me. I don't like when you write mean things to me because then I read those and I'm bummed and I'm sad. And then we get to do a quiet show like this one. There may be yawning in this show. In addition to being quiet, there may be yawning in this show. I'm just going to warn you about that too. And you're wondering, yawning and quiet? What does this mean, Mike? Like why is all of this happening at once? Hold on, a yawn's coming. I successfully fought it off. Well, here's why, folks. Hold on. You hear that? That's my beard, like, hitting the microphone. Whoa, dude, I gotta pull my face away now. That's strange. Because normally the microphone's halfway down my goddamn throat. I do this show like fucking Jenna Jameson. I got a throat full of microphone half the time I'm doing this because I don't like being far away from the microphone. I feel like I gotta be right on top of it. But now, with that beard there, that's working my spit sock. If that's what it's called. But that's actually, I'm not Jenna Jameson. I'm actually Spit Sock. That's who I am this show with my fucking microphone crammed halfway down my throat. Me just gagging. Maybe I do that. Maybe I do that for the next hour and a half or 2 hours. I've also noticed when I'm doing this show in my house alone, the lip smacking becomes a thing and I hear it back and I go, Jesus Christ. And I know you're thinking to yourself, Mike, you listen to the show? Well, not really. Sometimes I do. Occasionally, recently, because Lily doesn't produce anymore, she's decided that she's just sitting in a chair and yelling at me or laughing and then going home. I sometimes will have to listen back to what I think the name of the show should be because she's not taking adequate notes, in my opinion. Yeah, she's not here, so I'll talk a bunch of shit about her. Why not? She's sick. She had a headache today. But I'll get into all that in a minute. But this show is, and again, like I said, this is inside baseball as I tell you these things about yawning and warning you and letting you know what the fuck is going to happen. Not like you wouldn't have noticed that there was yawning and that was being a little quieter. Hold on, another yawn is coming, but I'm going to fight it off right now. I'm going to talk through it. Maybe that'll help. Fuck. Yeah, sort of. I defeated it. Maybe. Although you kind of heard it. Is this bad? Do me a favor. Let me know. Because, I mean, I want the show to be entertaining, and I want the show to be something you want to listen to. But also, I feel like there's an immediacy to it where I can tell you exactly what's happening. Like, you listen to a radio show, nobody's just like, God damn it, I just had a sandwich and I'm about to drink something. Or is there just no value in that? Is there no real estate in me telling you I'm going to yawn and I'm warning you about this and I'm quiet? Well, I should tell you, actually, you know what I should do is tell you why those things are true. Why I'm yawning and why it's a quiet show. Because it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And not just that, it's 4 o'clock Thursday morning. So it's late Wednesday night. So this show is normally up by now. And at this point, you're already listening to it. You've got it in you're well on your way to hearing me in all different parts of the world. And you're thinking, whoa, Mike, thank God another show came out on a Thursday morning. Well, it's going to come out today on a Thursday, but it's going to be a little bit later than we had thought or hoped. And there's plenty of reasons behind that. I will get to them post haste. But first, here's 45 minutes on the Super Bowl. Anyway, Lady Gaga. It was a fucking amazing game. I'm really going to talk about the Super Bowl. I just made fun of people who talk about the fucking Super Bowl. God, what an idiot. So I'm dancing around this and I should just fucking spit it the fuck out. So no Lily today, because Lily, was sick and, she actually wound up having to pull out today, Wednesday. We normally record on Tuesdays. And I've been going over to her place because of her eye thing. She can't drive, and I go over there and I record and do whatever I got to do. Go to Tamale House, and then I wind up hanging out with her for a little bit, record the show, come home, whatever. And that allows also David to get a jump on the artwork. So this week, I talked to Lily, and she's like, "Hey, I'll be at your house on Tuesday." And I said, "Well, you don't have to come over here." I said, and she goes, "No, it's okay. I just got glasses. I've got to get used to driving." And I said, "Well, all right, but if anything changes, let me know, and I'm happy to come over to your place." And she said, "Fine." So Monday, I was actually here in my house where I've been for 3 weeks, not moving ever, unless it's to go to see Shannon or go to the gym. And I'll talk about that in just a few minutes as well. Again, can't be loud. It's literally 4 in the morning. So like I'm waiting for Lou, the racist bartender, to get up and like pound on the wall because I'm in what is essentially my office, but it would be a dining room in a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm staring into the kitchen, and I'm just sitting at my desk. And he usually has his TV on at ungodly fucking volume all night long, but I've outweighted him. It's so late, he's actually turned it off. So I'm recording at 4 in the morning in my apartment, and I was going to actually go sit over on a nice chair, but I'm at my desk. I'm making myself pretend like this is work, because it is work. It fucking is. So, I talked to Lily this week and she's like, she had her show on Monday and she said to me, "Hey, can I, she was on the phone and said, 'Can you do me a favor?' I said, 'What's up?' And she said, 'Can you do the Monday Night Teas tonight? Would you want to come in and do a set?'" And, there are times in my life and in my career where I would have immediately said yes. I mean, that's all I want to do. I wanted to do comedy. I wanted to do sets. I wanted to go out. This is not one of those times in my life. I've talked myself into somehow making the thing that I do best a chore, and making it like the hardest work in the world. And when it's not, I mean, I live to talk to people. That's what I do. I do stand up. I make people laugh. I go perform. But I'm these past 2 months have been kind of a fucked situation for me. So I've gotten all screwed up and in my own head. But things have just gotten worse for me. And I don't mean that in a mean way. Look, everybody's got their troubles. Right now my buddy David in Michigan is building a car while he's listening to this. He goes to work on a fucking assembly line every day. He's raising beautiful kids. He's got a lovely wife. He's got a life. So I recognize that the problems that I may have are strictly the problems of a 50-year-old man who doesn't have any kids and would be perceived by you guys to not have any real fucking problems when you want to look at it that way. I try to be as funny as I can every week. I try to come here and make this entertaining. So let me hop around here a little bit. So this morning, again, today's Wednesday. So Lily said she was going to come over on Tuesday. And then when I talked to her on Monday, she said, "Hey, why don't we do it on Wednesday instead? I said, are you sure? She goes, what are you doing Tuesday? And I said, well, I have to go to the gym in the morning, but then after that, whatever. And she goes, well, no, Tuesday, let me make it work on Wednesday. I said, okay. I said, again, if you can't drive, let me know. That'll be fine. So I put off Tuesday recording, and then Wednesday came along, and she was supposed to be here at 10 in the morning on Wednesday. And then she texted me, and she said 11 o'clock. She said, I'll see you at 11 o'clock tomorrow. She texted me late Tuesday night, and she's like, I'll tell you why. Because for some reason Tuesday she decided it was topical news day, so she was posting on Facebook, and she does this quite a bit now. She's involved in, Lily's just a bill. She's only a bill, and she's sitting there on Capitol Hill where she's spinning her tassels counterclockwise and hoping to get noticed by a congressman. But she's fighting a lot with internet ghosts, or she's posting her opinions, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I personally don't get it. Because I don't know why you would want to fight with ghosts. I don't know, what is, I'm truth be told, and I will get to this in a little bit. I'm a little fatigued with the whole situation. And by the whole situation, I mean the world and my lot in life. But again, we'll talk about that in a second. Hold on. I got a hiccup now. Fuck. I am the least professional broadcaster you're ever going to find. I warn you of impending yawns, and then I hiccup right in your ear. What a jag-off. So Lily told me she'd be here at 10 on Wednesday morning, and then she texted me last night late. And the reason she texted me is because I was out picking up my glasses. Did I mention I got glasses? I don't know if I told you guys this. I needed to get glasses for the longest time because I need them when I drive. And when I watch hockey. Like literally, that's the only two things, and to read stuff on the television. Because otherwise I'm squinting all the goddamn time. Like I can't read addresses. I can't read fucking street signs. And I know you're like, oh, you're old. Yeah, I'm fucking old. What the hell? My body's warranty is fucking malfunctioning, or it's about to come up and it's expired. So it's time to get eyes. So Lily was gracious enough to reach out to me because I didn't know where the fuck to get eye stuff done. All this shit where I'm like, I need glasses. And then you can go, the doctor I used to go to when I was married, Karen picked this guy, Dr. Greenspan, Dr. Greenspan, who's on Ventura Boulevard. You can look him up. But of course, because, Karen had the best insurance in the fucking world under Disney, so we could go see Dr. Greenspan, who is Marilyn Manson's personal optometrist, who's fit him with those ridiculous contact lenses. He's all over like the walls, and it's the kindest, most gentle man, really sweet guy, but also fucking expensive to go see him. But we had Disney insurance, which is just fucking bulletproof. I mean, it is, you walk in the door and you show them that you're Disney insurance. They come out, they jerk you off. They got a talking duck with a blue sailor top, and he comes out and he brings you some fucking duck food, whatever. They make it work for you the best they possibly can, because again, Disney, the insurance was ridiculous. Well, now I have the American Care, ACA, whatever the fuck, Obamacare. I hate calling it Obamacare because it almost became a pejorative. Even though for me, I fucking loved it. I mean, I needed it. And look, yes, spare me again. I understand I'm not a small business owner. I don't have kids. I don't have a monster deductible like a lot of you guys out there. For me, it was something I really needed. I absolutely needed to get fucking insurance, and it came through for me in a good way. And other people are like, oh my God, it's so terrible. It's bankrupting families and it's ruining communities. And I don't know about all that. All I know is when I need a Twix bar pulled out of my ear, I go there and it costs me fucking $55. The end. Or actually, is that my copay? 55? No, my copay is my copay is 55. Prescriptions and stuff are like 10 and 20. Here's the more about my health insurance plan. What a fucking idiot. I'm getting all over the place here. So I needed to get eye stuff, and last year they gave me the opportunity to add an eye plan to my insurance, and I skipped it because I just didn't have the money to do it at that time. So then this year, when it came time to renew, there was no optical insurance option. I added a dental plan. So here, listen how my teeth sound. I still haven't gone to get them looked at, but I have a dental plan now just in case. It's been so long since I've been at the dentist. I'm surprised they didn't shatter into a bunch of fucking pieces as I chopped them there onto the goddamn thing. Chomp, chomp, chomp. So I needed to, I can hear myself in my earbuds, and my mouth sounds like really fucking like, and I don't mean it to be like that. Maybe I'm too close. Maybe if I pull back this way, but then it sounds like I'm yelling from the bottom of a cave. God damn, I'm very hypersensitive now, and I'll tell you why in a few. God, I got a lot of stuff to tell you later. Stick around. At the beginning of the show has been nothing, but later on, oh my God, you're going to get a ton of information. And it's harder when Lily's not here to kind of keep track of all the fucking buzzing, because like I like to talk in circles, and I try to bring it back as much as I possibly can, but then I'll forget something, and people are like, "Hey, dude, you forgot to tell us that." And case in point, Kuwait. There's all sorts of stuff I haven't talked about there. I'll get to that eventually as well. So I needed to get eye glasses so I could check out some addresses and drive. That's how pathetic it is. I need them to go, and to go to the movies. It just sharpens everything up, folks. I wasn't sure what kind of prescription I needed, because I was somewhere between Lily, who can't see a fucking thing, and Brian Noonan, my friend, who literally can see things a mile and a half away. Like he could read a sign from a mile away. We were on the road one time. I've told this story, and he said something. We were like, where we were going to go eat, and he said that there was a Quiznos, and I'm looking. I see nothing. I just see blocks and streets and cement, and he's one of those dudes who he doesn't say it's over there. He could probably say like, hey, it's like 8 clicks that way. Like he's one of those dudes, like a fucking Martin Riggs sniper type who could pull out anything with the fucking eyesight. It's brilliant. But I'm not that guy. But I'm also not fucking blind like Lily. So I was not sure what I had to do, but I had to get the eye exam, and then I wanted to get glasses. Now, everybody's like, dude, you should just get an eye exam and then go get your glasses online. But I can't get glasses online because I've had a gigantic skull. I mean, I wear a size 8 baseball hat. So if I was to, because then they give you the fucking models, and they're like, try the frame on and see what it looks like on a person. And then they're like, upload your own photo. And I'm like, I'm not uploading my own photo for you fucksticks, because then you're going to save my photo and it's going to lurk, and I'm going to be giving free modeling things for you guys. That's not good. I get paid for my modeling, motherfuckers. But they wanted me to upload a photo of myself, and then I could be able to put certain frames on there and try to pick them out from the frame fucking stores. And that just, dude, some things you just have to do. They have to be tactile. You have to have them in your fucking hands so you can hold them and put them on your head and make sure they're not pinching the fuck out of your skull. And I didn't know about sizes or any of that bullshit. Usually when you go for fucking glasses, you walk in, you just try on a bunch of stupid frames that are on the wall, and then they give you the ones that fit and the ones you pick out. Good. Perfect. But also my haircut is weird. And my skull is giant. So I needed to try on glasses to make sure that they looked right. So I wasn't sure where to go. Lily and I were at a Walmart by her house once. I was just telling her, I'm like, I need glasses. I don't know what to do. We walked into the Walmart, and she goes, right there, go to the optical center. I'm like, fuck that. She goes, what do you mean? And she goes, it's like $35 for an eye exam, and then you pick out the glasses. I said, I'm not a fucking hobo. I'm not getting glasses at Walmart. She's like, you have issues. And I go, yeah, fine. I don't want Walmart glasses. Who the fuck am I? I like to think I have a modicum of respect for myself, that I don't want to go to some fucking non-union shop to get my goddamn eyeglasses done. I don't trust these idiots. That's just some dude who was earlier stocking the Prestone, and then they brought him over to go ahead and take a look into my fucking cornea. Fuck that. She's like, you're a weirdo. And I said, I guess so. That's fine. But I mean, doctors are doctors for a fucking reason. So, then, I still needed glasses, and time passed, and I started to look around, and eye exams were like $350 at real doctors. And then Lily, I told her I needed glasses, and she wrote me a text, and she goes, hey, we're going to Costco tomorrow. I'm going to get my glasses there. Does that alleviate your fears that it's a terrible place to get glasses? And in reality, no, it did not. Because just because you're a fucking hobo and get your glasses at a department store doesn't mean that I am. But I don't say that. And I'm certainly not going to look this gift horse in the mouth, because apparently at Costco, you have to be smuggled in by members underneath blankets, and they don't see you and they don't throw you out. It's some secret society where everybody gets to buy 40 rolls of toilet paper for a discount price. I don't fucking get it. I don't know anything about Costco. I think I've been in it once before. Karen may have been a member when we were married, but I don't know if she was or she wasn't. Look, I didn't concern myself with her fucking life. That's why she's gone now. That's why I'm sitting in an empty apartment talking in the middle of the fucking night, because she's adios, because I didn't pay attention to her fucking life. I'm smart. So she could have been a member. I think I went into one of those joints with her at one point. All I remembered about it was like it had, if you think Trader Joe's parking is complicated, fucking Costco parking is just a holocaust. That's all it is. 6 million cars all trying to find spots and being eventually frustrated or terminated in their end. All their hopes are vanquished. So Lily's like, we're going to go to Costco if you want to go. Now, again, I'd been looking at other places, and the price on it was prohibitive. And I need fucking glasses. So I figured, I'm like, you know what, man, she's offering, and it couldn't hurt to take a look at this joint. And in my tiny, tiny brain, Costco is a step above Walmart at least. You know, I mean, because you say, hey, I got my glasses at Walmart. Nah, you're just a hillbilly. I mean, now you're just waiting to get your photograph put up on a Tumblr. You know what I mean? It's just, here's the corn pone glasses of Walmart. Duh. I mean, I don't want to be that guy. But Costco, now that's a step above, even though that holocaust of a parking lot. But Walmart, see, any idiot can walk in there. But at Costco, you got to sneak in. You got to have a membership card. You got to do all that shit. Apparently, it's very fancy. So I said to myself, all right, well, it cannot hurt to go to Costco with Lily and take a look around and see what they have. And she goes, well, you can get an eye exam there. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, you can actually get an eye exam. I go, no, that's not funny. I thought you were just taking me to look at frames. She goes, no, they actually have an optical department where they'll do, just like Walmart. I go, well, how much is the eye exam? She goes, I don't know. When you get there, you'll have to ask them. And you know, and also here's the other key to this whole thing was she goes, we're going tomorrow. She didn't give me a week to think about it. She didn't even give me 3 days to think about it. She said, hey, if you want to go, we're going tomorrow. Meet us there. And as you know about me, if I get any time at all to think about something, I'm never doing it. If I have any time at all to sit and ponder, fuck that. That's all I'll do. I'll ponder for weeks. And then she'll be like, yeah, we went. I already got the glasses. In fact, my prescription has changed. I'm going to have to go get glasses again. I mean, it'll be that bad. So I did not have a choice. It's not like I could just go ahead and go, well, let me think about it. Even though I've been doing a lot of that lately. I've been asked to do a lot of things and I've put people off. And I've come up with excuses why I shouldn't have to do them. And then I don't do anything. And I will get to that in a bit. So Lily, there's a lot of ums in this fucking show. Boy, I a lot. I get a lot of smacky mouth. I don't care for it. How do you listen? How the fuck do you listen to this thing? Seriously, how do you listen to anything that I say when I've got smacky mouth and a lot of ums and all that other bullshit that's happening? How could you possibly tune into this every week? I know you're waiting for the end. That must be what it is. Because you're not, a lot of you people are, this made me laugh. Some dude on Facebook, he was, there's a Never Not Funny page. And it comes up in my feed occasionally. And some dude was like, hey, he's trying to figure out how to fucking line up his phone to get more Never Not Funny. I don't know how that works. I don't know why he wouldn't know by now. The show's been on for fucking ever. Fix your goddamn phone. But the best part is he put up a photo of his phone. And I was in his podcast queue. But next to it was the number 50. And I saw that and I laughed out loud. And then I looked in the comments and people are trying to coach him through whatever the fuck to do with his phone. There's a guy named Baxter, I think is his name. I'm going to say his name because why not? Because he's not going to hear this. As indicated by his fucking phone. But he literally wrote in the comments, he's like, by the way, he goes, I have 50 episodes of the 40-year-old boy here on my machine, his phone, whatever the fuck. And he said, are there any must-listen episodes that I have to tune into over those past 50? And that was the last comment I saw. I have not gone back to see if anyone gave him the essential list of the past year. I couldn't even give him the essential list of the past fucking year. I mean, I have no concept or clue because this show, you know, sometimes there's stories, sometimes it's just me talking downhill, sometimes bad shit happens, sometimes good shit happens. I mean, who the fuck knows? So I don't have an essential list of the last 50, for fuck's sake, 50 weeks. That dude is taking 50 weeks off of me. And then, because I do that shit. I mean, fuck, I've got the last 2 seasons of Justified, 2 seasons of Better Call Saul, all on my DVR, and I'll see them and I'm just like, fuck, what do I do here? I got to see these, but I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I literally, over the Christmas holiday, I deleted Mad Men, finally. I had, like, the last 33 episodes of Mad Men, I think, and I finally just went, fuck this. I whacked it, because I fell so far behind on it, I go, I can't do this, and I'm mad about it. The last episode of Mad Men I saw, I'll just share this for you Mad Men people out there, Don's young wife was filming a commercial and he was walking off the set into the darkness. That was the last episode of Mad Men I saw. So I missed Pete Campbell get bald. I missed Not Great Bob. I missed all of that stuff. I only had to see it in pieces on the fucking internet, so I wouldn't know any of that. So there you go. So if anybody can fill me in what I should see or hey, is anybody does anybody have the essential Mad Men episodes from those last 2 fucking seasons or 3 seasons or 4 or whatever the fuck it was? I couldn't even tell you. I did that with The Walking Dead too. Finally, I just said fuck it. After the last one I saw, they were bringing everybody back to the jail after I think they killed the governor or they were in a fight with the governor. I don't fucking know. But then this last year I picked it up because Negan was on, and I will tell you this is true. Anything that wasn't Negan, I fast forwarded through it. Some guy with a lion, who gives a fuck? Fast forward. Some pansy dude who's got like 4 guys and he's hiding the Maggie and the other people on the farm or whatever. I fast forward, don't care. If I don't see a spiked baseball bat or a guy getting an iron in the face, I'm out. Although bullshit, I did watch Daryl. I watched the episode where Daryl kept waking up with that fucking song. But Negan was the important thing. And again, it's that deal where I'm watching it and I have friends they swore off Walking Dead. They're like, that's it. Negan is the final straw. Like he's too terrible. Like there's nothing you can do here. Because they want to see him get his comeuppance, but they're all like, there's nothing you could possibly do to this guy that could make it worth our while to tune in and watch him be this terrible all the time. And I go the other route. You know, I'm all about Negan. You know, I got news. When I watch The Walking Dead, I want Negan to win. Like I'm rooting for him. And now I realize what it's like to be a Donald Trump supporter. When I think about it, I'm rooting for the dude with the fucking barbed wire baseball bat against all of the other cast members who you followed for 10 years. I'm like, no, that guy's got more charisma than all of them wrapped up in one fucking, in one dude, in one baseball. The bat's got more charisma than fucking Rick. And then Negan's attached to it. It's good. And I'm a Jeffrey fucking Dean Morgan guy from The Jump anyway. The fucking comedian in Watchmen, so good. And then there was some movie, The Losers. Is that what it's called? Somebody tell me if that's good. I need to watch it. I got so much stuff to watch. I got so much stuff to do. And you know what I do? Nothing. I watch old, like today I watched an old Law and Order. Because I was killing time in my house. That's all I do. I sit in my apartment. I'll get to that in a fucking minute, but goddamn, what a mess. Things have become a mess. And I've allowed them to become a mess. I've chosen a mess. I've chosen to let them be a mess. There's a reason we're recording at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. I'll tell you in a minute. And I don't know if these are any good. And I'm not looking for you to go, they're good, Mike, we promise. You know, I'm consumed by doubt and nonsense anyway. I mean, I think I'm really good at what I do when it's really good. You know, when I get Lily here and the wheels are really rolling and I'm doing a show that I want to do. When I get to be by myself, it gets to be a little fucking hairy. And I fell victim to that a little earlier today. And I will explain that all later. But let me tell you more about fucking glasses. So I met Lily the next day at fucking Costco. And she smuggled me in. She used her secret handshake. Set off a flash grenade. Everybody turned around and I ran in underneath the fucking velvet rope that they used to keep the hoi polloi out. And I went to the optical department. And the eye thing was fucking, I think it was $90. And I was like, fuck it, just do it. Because like I said, I'd been hearing $300 and $250 at other places. So I was like, just do this. Because again, I don't even know if they're fucking doctors. The guy had a lab coat on and some scrubs. They had the goofy eye machines that look like they know what they're doing, where they put the thing up to your head. You know, with the fake lenses, and they go better or worse, better or worse, this one or this one, A or B, all that fucking nonsense. But the problem is you're there with that menagerie of people who have to buy their glasses at Costco. That's the bad news. I know I'm a fucking snob. I get it. But the main reason I don't want to buy my glasses at Costco is because I don't want to tell everybody I got my glasses at fucking Costco. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And I don't even know who the fuck I'm telling other than you guys. It's not like anybody's going to come up to me and go, those are sharp glasses. Where'd you get those? Nobody fucking cares. People see you with glasses on, they're just like, all right, that guy needs glasses. What the fuck? There's nobody who's going, oh, man, those are sharp. Or, oh, man, those are hideous. And even if they did, they'd keep it to themselves. Because I don't see anybody in real life. You know, the people who love me don't give a fuck where I bought my glasses. And the people who hate me, they'll make fun of me no matter what I'm wearing on my fucking head. I could wear a fucking scuba mask around with a goddamn prescription lens in it. And they'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. That's him. He's a dumb fuck. So I go to meet her and I sign up for the exam. And the woman goes, all right, come over here when they call my name. And these are, again, I don't know what training you need. And I don't know what level I would sink to, you know, like would I if there was a dental, because there used to be a dental center at Sears. My friend Mike Toomey, Mike Toomey has a great bit about it, although I think it's dead now because I don't think they have them anymore. But, you know, when I first worked with him 20 fucking years ago, he would do it and it was hysterical about how, you know, hey, I got to go to Housewares and I got to get the pants for the kids. You know what? do me a favor. Can you meet me over in Automotive in about 20 minutes? I'm going to get a root canal. I mean, it was like, that's Mike's bit, even though I'm paraphrasing it, but it's that bit, which is awesome. So in Costco, you walk in and there's they're wearing scrubs. I mean, and usually, you know me, I don't want no scrubs. Certainly not when it comes to my eyes, because a scrub is a nurse that can get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of my best friend's ride, telling me, hey, EFPTOZ. That's not as funny to you guys, but man, is that 4 a.m. funny? Holy fuck, that was funny. That was 4 a.m. funny. All right, here. Let me get. You know what? Let me write that down because that sounds like the fucking name of the show. Bing bang 4 a.m. funny. Christ. This name in the show conceit's got to go. When Lily's not here to fucking help, I got to stop in the middle of it and write something down. But then it's more of a conversation, right? Doesn't it feel conversational for you guys? It's less of a show and more of an interactive experience? Nope. Nobody fucking cares. So I'm there at Costco, and the woman calls me, and again, wearing scrubs. And they're very nice girls, and then they sit me down at the machine. They go, okay, you're going to focus, and you have to punch a bunch of buttons when you hit the when there's a red or a green or a red or a green. The dots are in your peripheral vision, or they're underneath. And then they blow air in your eye, and you're supposed to just sit there and take it. I had to sit there and fucking take it. And then the guy comes over and he jerks off and shoots you in the eye. Oh, that burned. I'm not going to lie. And it seemed to make no sense. I've had eye exams at real doctors before. And not once did they have a guy come and launch a fucking rope into my eye. Never happened. But at Costco, they cover all the bases. And the good news is I didn't need insurance for it, so that's fine. That's the price you got to pay. Look, it's like in the old days when you have to bring like a chicken. And you got leeches put on you to get your blood taken. It's like old school medicine. They blow air in your eye, and then they have guys launch a rope in your eye. Some fucking Costco version of Peter North comes over and just fucking launches you like Spider-Man. He just webs up your goddamn eyes, and you got to go, that burns. But I guess I can read this chart. I preferred the air. I'm not going to lie to you. I preferred the air in the eye. Because at first that was annoying with the air in the eye, and then they blow a fucking load in your eye, and you're like, holy Jesus Christ! I liked the air. Bring the air back, please. I mean, I've come in my own eye. It's no picnic. I've come in my eye at a picnic. Oh, and I'll tell you what, that is no picnic. If you were at a picnic and then you come in your own eye at that picnic, just by rule alone, that is no longer a picnic. That's a crime scene, probably, depending on who else was in attendance at the picnic. So I go there, they blow the air in my eye, they do all this nonsense, and they go, all right, take a seat, and you got a clipboard, and you got to fill out a bunch of shit. And then you just look around, and you're in this. I did a show once. I told you I had to go to a free clinic here, and because my insurance, it wasn't even a free clinic. It wasn't free for me. It's just my insurance. Because Karen, when she was at Disney, we could do the best of everything. But then when her insurance changed, we wound up going in progressively worse and worse outposts. And I went to a place where someone was there with like a goat to trade for medical treatment. Like this, it was just a ton of Hispanic, Spanish-speaking people and me. And there's nothing wrong with that. Look, if you can work out a deal where somebody will take livestock in exchange for a liver transplant, then go ahead and make it happen. But it's very disquieting when you're the only one there who's actually paying in cash. So that's what it was like at Costco. I'm there, and I wore pants because I'm going to a doctor's office, but there's people there in fucking shorts and open-toed shoes, and no wonder the fuck we're all in here to get glasses. We all got pink eye from your horrible fucking feet. Put some socks on, you fuck. Meanwhile, Lily is out there with FunnyEddie.com, and they're looking at frames and putting them on and off and taking them on and off. She got her test done, but she had to tell them she had, I didn't know how she buys glasses with a half a fucking head. You know what I mean? She's got, that one eye is down for the fucking count. That one eye got fucking Apollo Creeded, and she's there. It's like literally at 8, 9, 10, and they're about to count it out and wave off the fight, but she's still getting glasses. Good for her. I don't know if she'll have to go change it eventually when her eye fixes. I don't know. But I needed to get them done. So the guy, then they call my name, and I go in, and there's like, I guess a doctor? I don't know. Again, he had the outfit. He could have been Dr. Spaceman from fucking 30 Rock. I got no clue. And he could have been, clearly, he could have been a guy who was stocking jeans an hour earlier, but now he's taking his shift over at the old optical center. But he sits me down. He puts the contraption on my head. And I will say this. Once they did it out in the thing with the dots and the air and the guy blowing a load in your face and press this button, And then I get into his room and he's like, all right, this one or this one, this lens or this lens, and read the eye chart and stuff. Dude, there's nothing to being a fucking eye guy. That's easy as fuck. I mean, if you got the outfit, you're running the show. You could show up to work in the outfit. That's why I'm saying it would not surprise me if these guys were cashiers who then took a fucking run in the optical center, or got promoted from the back where they were stocking shelves with yogurt, and then all of a sudden they were brought forth. I mean, it made zero sense, but at the same time, when you look at the gadgets and shit like that, all of that stuff does the work. This dude didn't have to really make any judgments. I looked through a bunch of fake glass. I could read what I could read, and he goes, okay, great. Now, I will tell you this was, so then I start treating him like a doctor, even though I shouldn't, but I do, because I try to have respect for a guy, and I also, he could really fuck me up. He can get me some weird-ass lenses and then these big Coke bottle things. Like when I was a kid, I told you I faked the eye chart and got fucking bifocals like an idiot. Well, he could do that to me. He could be like, yeah, you have a terrible stigmatism. We have to take them both out. And then I got to go over to the fucking Costco Surgical Center and get fucking my eyes scooped out of my head with a fucking spatula. That seems large. I'd probably use a grapefruit spoon. My eye, although I have almond shaped, I have deep set eyes. So I mean, you're gonna have to really dig in there. It's not like you're just gonna pop out, or you're gonna be able to scoop them out with a fucking spatula. Doesn't get in there. It doesn't do the job. You're gonna bruise the eye. You got to dig a grapefruit spoon behind it, pop it right out. A lot of uhs, a lot of ums. I hate it because there's no momentum with Lily not here. The momentum, it's just me talking and filling fucking air, and I'm not making anybody laugh, least of all me. Reset. So, because I decided to treat this guy like a doctor, I'm like, hey, dude, what do we do with my head here? Like, what's happening? Should I get LASIK surgery? And again, I don't know why I'm asking him. I do, because he's the eye guy. I trust him. But I didn't want to pay for glasses if I thought I should get LASIK instead. And I had done some research into the LASIK, and that was like $5,000. It's like, or $6,000. It's $3,000 an eye. But I'll tell you this, when I read about LASIK, it's not permanent. Like, it's one of those things that you get it done, and then it could actually reverse itself in like 4 years or 4 minutes. They have no fucking clue. It's an inexact science. So you're paying for all this dough, and yeah, usually it works. But a lot of the times people have to go back in like 6 or 7 years and get a fucking retune up on their head, get it recalibrated. And I don't think there's any guarantee on it where you can come back in 6 years like, oh yeah, we'll do that for free. It's not in perpetuity, $3,000 an eye. You have to pay it every fucking 7 years, and fuck that. So I asked him, I go, how bad are my eyes? He goes, they're not that bad. Because he asked me what I needed it for. I said, look, I need it for driving at night to see addresses and stuff. When it rains, I got to look past the drops, and I'm squinting a lot to read like street signs or print. Like I can see things close up, but far away are a problem. So after he does the tests, he goes, yeah, man, your stigmas, you got no problem here. He goes, you don't need any surgeries. I guess a LASIK wouldn't make sense. He goes, no. He goes, you're exactly right. You need glasses for driving or maybe seeing small print on a television or on a sign. He goes, but you can read your phone up close, and there's no real issues with your eyes. These are just going to be glasses that you can use when you need them. You don't need glasses all the time. So that made me happy. So then I went out to pick out some goddamn frames, and I was looking for, and so again, that was the one thing that really freaked me out, is I didn't want to pick ugly ass Costco frames. I have a friend of the show, a guy named Toby, and he was at the LA Podcast Festival last year, and he had his glasses, and I tried them on, and I kind of liked them. I'm like, oh, those look good. But then once I looked at more pictures, I was like, dude, those glasses are fucking grim. I can't wear those. They look really good on Toby. They did not look that good on me, but also because his are smaller. I'm like, well, maybe if I had a bigger one, but fuck all that. You've got to try shit on. So I was trying on some stuff, and actually Lily was the one who found the frames that I picked. And she goes, I know you like green. Here's these. Because they're green on the inside, and they have green stripes on the frames, and then the lenses are kind of frameless. Whatever the fuck, you don't care. Whatever, they're fine. So I went to pick them up after they were done in like 4 days. Picked them up, they fucked up. They put sunglass lenses in instead of transition lenses. And so then I had to come back, and I just went and picked them up Monday. Yesterday, Tuesday, because I was out and about when they called me, and I picked them up last night. And I drove with them, and I came home, and I wore them, and everything I need them for, they work. But I will tell you, they squeezed, they're a little too small for my head, so the guy had to fucking separate them. And then that makes me wonder that if they're going to fall apart, I don't, you know me, folks, I always fucking worry about bullshit like that. For right now, though, I've had them for a day, and they seem to work great. They haven't completely fallen apart or pinched my head like fucking ice tongs. So I think they're fine. And I can see now at night when I finally do return to the road. And I know what you're thinking, well, Mike, haven't you been driving all the time? Shouldn't you be, that's your job, right? You would think I was the kind of guy who'd be out driving. And that's probably why I'm doing a 4 o'clock a.m. show, right? Because I was out all night driving and going ahead and making a ton of cash and then coming here. Yeah, you would think all of those things would be true, wouldn't you? So let's get to this. It's 4 a.m. Came without a warning. Everybody's got a place to be. And the reason I'm doing this show now is because I actually, this is the second show of the day. And I did this same thing last week. I don't know if I mentioned it to you. I owe you guys an apology because I pussied out of doing last week's show. I kept saying real life interfered and it kept me from doing this and Lily wasn't available. All those things certainly were true, but I could have sat down and done an actual show and made it work and I just didn't because I wasn't sure that I could be funny or good, and I started to doubt myself and whatever talent or it doesn't matter what I doubted. I doubted everything, and I've been doubting that for a long time. And I prefer to do the show when Lily's here or when I'm by her place because it's a different show. There's a different feel to it because when I do these shows by myself, I can get a little introspective and go through some self-examination that maybe I don't want to do on the air or because I'm not in the best place right now. I'm going to try to do this in a way that's still entertaining or funny. We'll see if that works. Because I can tell you this, the show I did earlier today was not that. I mentioned Lily was supposed to be over here. She, I saw her Monday and she said she'd be here. She couldn't do the show on Tuesday. She wanted to do it on Wednesday. So then yesterday, I didn't even finish this story. She's writing on her wall yesterday. She's in a fucking politics fight with everybody about stuff. And that's fine. I mean, if that's her deal and she wants to do that sort of thing, then that's cool. I've found myself in a position of extreme fatigue with what's going on in our world. I found myself in a position where I don't want to hear about it, but it's all I want to talk about, if that makes sense. Because I'm astonished at what's happening, and it's happening so quickly and it's happening so fast. And look, I know a lot of you out there don't agree with me, and I know a lot of you, you're guy one, and you're happy with the way things are going, and good for you. I disagree, and I disagree vehemently, and I will tell you this: it's affected me in a weird way, and I didn't think it would, but it has. So Lily was arguing politics on her fucking page, and she was I guess there was some healthcare debate yesterday between Ted Cruz and Bernie Sanders. And she was saying it was fantastic television. You needed to watch it to hear what they were talking about. And I cannot think of anything I would like to do less than watch political coverage on television. Because I think it is all an unbelievable fucking talent show and a bunch of people who are all in on it together, shaking hands and clapping backs and getting ratings and getting money and everybody playing one another. There's no reality there. Just like there's no reality in reality television, there's no reality in any of these news shows. I have to, if anything breaks out of them, then I will see it on Facebook or on Twitter when someone writes this epic takedown, this, he destroys her. And I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you this, the other day was literally the first time I'd heard the voice of Tomi Lahren. Tomi Lahren? What the fuck is her name? Yet another in the army of blonde skeletons that the Republicans have launched into the stratosphere to distract, in my opinion. She's the one who's on YouTube. And then she was the one who did The Daily Show. and everybody fucking hated her. And then she came on the Daily Show, and I guess that they had a mutual conversation that worked out great for everybody. And then I don't know if fucking the new Daily Show dude was thirsty, but then he tweeted her and she retweeted it, and it just showed the hypocrisy and foolishness of they all get along. These are all friends. Everybody, this is ratings. It's wrestling. It's all gossip and wrestling, all of it. And I know in the real world you can say, well, here's the thing. You know, Trevor Noah feels one way and Tommy Lahren feels the other, and they can have a civil discussion about it, and then they can get together and be friends afterwards. And no, I don't fucking see that. Maybe because I'm old and I'm 50, and maybe I think that I've been lied to for a real long time by a whole lot of people, but I am angry. And I can't watch the news when they interview a senator and he so visibly and clearly lies, and someone doesn't say, you're a fucking liar. You're lying right now. Because they talk about its incivility, and you hear these guys talk in circles, and they all fucking do it. Look, dude, you know I was a Hillary guy. I wanted her to win. And then when she lost, I was fucking astonished by it. But I could also recognize that she made some fucking mistakes. And when you start to Monday morning quarterback it a little bit, you realize, well, you know, they probably underestimated him, and they didn't realize they underestimated the wave of hatred for her. And I used to talk about it at the gym with my trainer, John. I'd go, you know, I literally, it must have been fucking June. I said, you know, the only thing is, people hate her. They hate her. And that might be a factor. But I really thought that people would put aside the hate they have for her and realize, you know what, we should still hope that the world works properly. And let's not vote for an unserious buffoon. And I know if he's your guy, good for you. Hot mug of liberal tears, libtard, I get it. I've gotten your emails. I've heard from fucking everybody. Good for you. I hope you're thrilled that he, with the bans, and the fact that his daughter can't sell pantsuits where she wants to, and whatever the fuck is happening to make everybody upset. Because that's another thing. It's all distracting bullshit. All of it is phony. All of it is garbage. And that's why I just want to 5-1 and 1-5 this fucking thing, because you know what? No one here gets out alive. I want to do the best I can while I'm alive and see what the fuck happens. You know, I did shows with Lily, and she was angry and she was crying and she was sad, but she's been able to maintain that rage. I can't. I can't. You know, the show I did earlier today was very much, it was a confessional about some things. And I did it, and I talked to Mex, because, all right, well, let me back up. So fucking Lily put this thing on her wall about that fucking healthcare thing with Ted Cruz and Bernie Sanders, and I can't think of a bigger waste of time than watching that. Two losers in the national election, and not loser men. They've accomplished more than I could ever hope to dream of accomplishing. I'm sitting here at 4 a.m. recording a second fucking take at a bad comedy show, telling you about my fucking glasses and about a guy jerking off in my eyes. Okay, I recognize they are certainly more sophisticated, and they've done more with their lives than I could ever dream of doing. But I can't imagine tuning in and watching the two of them they shouldn't even have the same, I guess there's civility and we're supposed to have respect and be on the same stage, but I mean, people should point at Ted Cruz and laugh when they see him. People should point at Bernie Sanders and say, you know, you allowed this to happen. And I know that seems ridiculous. I don't want to blame the old man. He tried. And that was fixed against him. Yes, I believe me, I've heard from you people too. Oh my God, you know, if Debbie Wasserman Schultz hadn't fixed it, then Bernie would have won. And I'm just like, really? Do you really think the people out there who voted for their faux Aryan Superman would have instead voted for phlegmy Jewish grandfather? You think that would have happened? I don't think so. And unfortunately, that's what that's come down to. That's what the contests have fallen into. There's no. You cannot tell me with the election of Trump that serious politics are not dead. They just are. They are. And the dumbest thing is serious politics. Just that fucking phrase. Anyway. See, this is why I need Lily here. Because I could talk. I could go off and talk about like force feeding a giraffe instead of this fucking introspective nonsense and boring you to fucking tears. And I don't want to be boring. I want to try to be as interesting as I possibly can. But I also can't be vague and I can't be morose. And I was all of those things earlier today. But we'll get to that in a second as I hit my desk. I went to Lily's page and she's fighting with some guys and these people, and she wrote something about Bernie Sanders and Ted Cruz, and I don't even know what the fuck it was. I think it was something about like, oh yeah, healthcare. I couldn't even. I'm so tired of it, and I should tell you this: I don't begrudge anybody their writings about it. I don't begrudge anybody writing or talking or tweeting or caring as much as they do. I think it's a good thing. I hope it leads to good things. And eventually I will probably come around to a place where I actually care again. But right now, man, I'll get to that in a minute. So fucking Lily puts this thing in, and then of course Facebook's an echo chamber, and Twitter's an echo chamber. So you pick and choose who you follow, and you of course get yourself outraged, suitably outraged by whatever they say. And sometimes some guy who doesn't agree with you, he sneaks in and then he says mean shit, and then it just evolves into a big spit fight. That's all it is. A bunch of people just slapping one another and nothing good is coming of it. Or it's a lot of you tell them, sister, which also is just not my bag at all. I want to make jokes and try to be as funny as I possibly can, and also I'd like to have some cogent political commentary and maybe look and see at things. And again, like I said, there's more than enough blame to fucking go around. You know, I think Trump and the Republicans are monsters. And I think when the Democrats tried to reconnoiter and they reelected Nancy Pelosi as now the minority leader, I was like, I don't fucking understand anybody or anything anymore. Should there not be consequences for such a devastating loss? Should there not be consequences for losing the country to a buffoon, for basically losing the next 20 years, maybe making a generational mistake? Should there not be some sort of consequences? Should not the people in charge, the people that had this on their watch, who have now basically seen their agenda and their platform burned to the fucking ground and then had the ground salted into the ashes for the next fucking 20 to 30 years by handing these monsters the fucking Supreme Court, the White House, and everything else? They're going to gleefully tear apart Medicare and fucking Social Security, and you know, they're going after abortion and every other fucking thing, and they're going to do it with a fucking smirk. And then when they start appointing these billionaire fucking Goldman Sachs assholes, and then Jeff Sessions and Betsy DeVos, and some of you actually vote for some of them, for Rex Tillerson. Some of you say, well, you got to pick your battles. Some of them, I don't, what the fuck are you talking about? Everything's a fucking battle now. That's why you're losing. That's why you're getting fucking squashed. And again, I don't mean to make it a football game, but if you care at all about the future of your agenda in this country, not just this country, but your ideals and making sure that they stay alive. Because I mean, and look, I've been in a place in my lifetime where they've been, that's it, the Republicans are finished. They are lost in the wilderness, and they will not be coming back from this for 25 years. And then they win the fucking White House 4 years later. Not just the White House, they win fucking everything. And they acted like dicks the entire time and still won. That's the thing. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. So Lily puts on her page this thing about the fucking healthcare thing, and everybody's like, I want to punch him. I hate him. These people, they don't understand. They don't know the consequences. And I was sitting at Costco getting my glasses frames fixed. And I wrote on her Facebook wall, and I wrote, hooray, I'm for the other team. Because that's all it is. There's no discourse. There's no hearing anybody else's voice. It's just, these guys suck. Yeah, they suck. Everybody sucks. Don't you suck? And so that's why I was like, hooray, I'm for the other team. So she then texts me, and she just wrote, I'm going to punch you when I see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And I texted her a photo, and I said, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Because it was my new glasses. And she said, I don't have to hit you in the face. And I was like, damn it. I said, all right, I will see you at 11 a.m. So I originally it was supposed to be 10 a.m., but then she changed it to 11 a.m. in that text, which is fine with me because I've been doing a lot of late night stuff, like staying up, and my old life has come back to kind of grab me by the fucking throat and drag me back into the morass, and that's what I do now. It's comfortable for me, and I have to shake it. I need to get out of this comfort zone. I'll tell you all about this in a minute. But she was going to come here at 10, and then she changed it to 11. And then I was in bed, and I set my alarm for 10:30 so I could get up and grab a shower. And when I woke up, she's like, I'm still trying to get myself together. How's noon sound? And it was 10:20. And I mean, that just meant another hour and 15 minutes of sleep. And after having gone to bed at 5:30 in the morning, I was just like, yes. I literally wrote just yes, noon. And I went back to sleep. Reset my alarm and went back to sleep. And then I woke up and I was about to jump in the shower, and she texted me and she said, yeah, hey, this isn't going to happen. And so I wrote her and I said, so you can't drive? I go, that's fine. I can come over by you. And then she didn't answer me for about 40 minutes or so. And then she said, no, I'm just too sick. This isn't going to happen. Have a good show. And listen, I recognize that she's sick. You know, I've been sick. I've had to postpone and do things and change them. But I was fucking furious. Not going to lie to you. I mean, I was really upset because I could have recorded yesterday, fucking Tuesday, you know, but I waited because she said she'd be available on Wednesday, and she wasn't available last week. She went out of town, and that was fine. I totally got it. And I should have done a show last week, but I fucking pussied out because I didn't want to do the show that I'm doing right now. And in reality, I put too much on her. I put too much responsibility on her to be here to save me from doing this, because the show is just different when she's here. You know, I can joke and goof around, and she can jump in, and I can go all over the place and tell a story, and she'll laugh, and I feel better about tangents that I go on. Whereas here, when it's just me, you know, I can't laugh at fucking everything. I can't make myself, I mean, sometimes I'll make myself laugh, but that's just silly. This is really funny. You know, when we first did the show, people would go, who's that woman in the background laughing? Jesus Christ, who's that woman? And now people who've stuck around and listened understand what her function is on the show. I mean, she's half the show. You know, she's the audience. She's you guys. So making her laugh makes me feel better, and I can fucking go all over the place and have fun and do that. And it's for me, call it a crutch if you want, but it's how I like to work. But I'll tell you this, Artie Lang, do you know who Artie Lang is? He was Howard Stern's co-host. He's from Mad TV. A funny fucking dude. So he has a podcast, and I haven't heard it yet, but on Twitter, someone linked to it, and they said that he buried Howard in a show, whatever. This epic takedown of Howard Stern, whatever the fuck. I don't know. So I gave it a listen, and it was Artie. It was like a 9-minute chunk of his show, and it's Artie talking, and he has an audience of people. Like he doesn't have a Lily. He's got like 5 Lilies. He's got a lady Lily. He's got 4 dude Lilies or 2 ladies. I don't even fucking know. But he's saying shit, and they're laughing at everything he says, like every fucking thing. And I recognize what he was doing as a comedian. He's trying to create bits in the ether. He's trying to make people laugh. I like to genuinely think Lily thinks I'm funny. So then when I say dumb shit, I can make her laugh, and then it kind of helps me spin off and do more. Perhaps she's helping the show. She could be Ed McMahon. I get no fucking idea. All I know is I'm comfortable with her in the room, and I like working with her. But listening to Artie's show, where he was making these 5 people, quote unquote, laugh at everything, at fucking setups, and it was, and they're all on mic. So it was unbearable to listen to. I mean, I was like, holy fuck. But it's a weird happy medium, because if you had to hear Artie Lang just by himself in a room, would you just be like, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with this guy? So that's what I wonder about me. Like, how is it with me being solo? I try to be charming and funny. I try to bring all the best things that I possibly can. But I would rather work with Lily in the room. But doing it like this, I can do it. I just don't know if there's any value in it. You know, I mean, and people are nice sometimes. They say, yes, there is. But I mean, it's always different. Who the fuck knows? People have preferences. Some people may just turn it on and they hear Lily's not here and they turn it right the fuck off. I know who does that. Baxter. That dude. I should recommend that to him. Hey, out of the last 50, well, here's the ones that did not have Lily. And so I guarantee you'll hate those. Here's the one where we're both in the room. I love the idea of that guy not listening for a year and then jumping in, because things have changed so much and yet nothing's changed at all, really. I'm still in the same joint. Lily's still here. I'm still spinning my fucking wheels. The same shit's happening. And And he's just going to be like, yep, all right, well, I don't need to listen to the rest of this. I would like to think that there's more value than that I'm still funny or interesting. But, maybe not. Maybe he's in for the human drama. I don't fucking know. Part of me wants to do that to him, though. Hey, so you've missed the last 50? All right, then you want to go to the first one you missed, and then listen about the next. Go skip 30. Skip 30 after that, because they don't mean anything. And listen to the 31st, and then skip to the 50th. 1, 31, and 50. Those are the ones you should listen to. Those are the must-hears. Absolutely. Oh my God, there's birds chirping outside. I don't even want to fucking look at the clock. So Lily couldn't come today, and I was furious. I mean, and I'm not mad at her for being sick. If you're sick, you're sick. But just mad at circumstance. Mad that I could have done this yesterday. Mad that now I didn't get what I wanted. I was a child. My toy was taken away. Someone took my Lily away, and so I couldn't do the show I wanted to do. I couldn't be as funny. I couldn't be the best. I couldn't be me. I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. But more importantly, it wasn't about couldn't. It was about had to. I was going to have to do the show that I skipped last week. Last week was I was having a hard time, and I was able to use the Jordan Jesse appearance as kind of a backdoor. Hold on, there's my beard. I was able to use Jordan Jesse as a backdoor out because, to me, there was new stuff that you could listen to. Last week, even if you didn't hear my show, you could hear me on Jordan Jesse, and that would be fine. And then I had the built-in out because people from Jordan Jesse heard me and were like, oh my God, I want to take this story with me rather than hear it on YouTube. I'd love to be able to download it. And I was like, holy fuck, that works out perfectly. I can go ahead and put up this show this week because I knew I wasn't going to have Lily around. And it would work out where I could go ahead and put up an older show that I really like and I'm proud of, and it helped me kind of take a week off to fix my brain a little bit. And then I took that week off, and I didn't really fix my brain. I'm still pretty fried. I'm trying to. There's all sorts of shit going on, and so I sat down today to do this show after Lily said no, and I waited. And I didn't even contact Mex. I told him I wasn't recording till later, and then I didn't. What the fuck? The artwork, first of all, it's brilliant. You can see it now. And this is not the show he painted for. If you look at the painting that he did, it'll apply a little bit to what I'm telling you. But I did a show. I recorded already today. I did a show that was like, I don't know, an hour and a half. And I finished it, and I did not feel good about it. I mean, I was fine with it, but I didn't know if it was kind of vague, and it wasn't. I mean, it was bleak because I'm in a bleak spot. I'm in an oblique spot. I'm in an oblada spot. But life goes on, huh? Life goes on. So I didn't finish the show. I got about, it's only an hour, I should say. I did an hour of it. And I walked away from it. And then I said, you got to listen to this. You got to make sure that this is what you want to do. And I went and I heard it, and it's just, it's confessional and it's a lot of things. And I never mind that. But it was kind of hopeless. And I don't want to put out anything that's hopeless. I don't want to ever sound like that, even if I may feel like that. And I guess by telling you this now, it exposes me for who I am and how I'm feeling these days. I'm hopeless. I just kind of am. And I've only been that way for just a couple months. But it's intensified recently. I will, Jill was here a couple of weeks ago. She was here in the second week of January. And as is the case with most of our interactions, everything's fine until it isn't. And when I went back to her in November and I reached out to her, it was because I was sitting in my house and I was fucking sick and I was in a chair and I was like, dude, and I was overwhelmed by election stuff. It just seemed like there was relentless negativity out there. And in my head, I just went, I I just want somebody to be with me forever that I can love and we can hide. I want to hide from everything. I don't want to deal with this. I want to be funny. I want to go out. I want to tour. I want to see people. I want to tell stories. I want to be as funny as I possibly can. And I'd like to have good news for you guys. That's all stuff that I'd like to do. This show is the most important thing in my life. This is essentially my life's work, but also I should use it as a fulcrum and a way to spin myself off into doing other things. But Jill was the most important thing in my personal life. This is the most important thing in my professional life. That was the most important thing in my personal life. But the thing is, this show blurs the lines. This is personal and professional because this show is about my fucking life. And I told you for a couple years, I wasn't exactly being honest. Jill and I were having some rough times. We'd fight. We'd have these disagreements. And I painted them in a different light on the air. Because I did not think it was fair to hold her to put her on trial via the show. But that made it weird because my fucking life is my life, and that's just the way it was. So then I said, I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to fucking do this. And then, in September, I walked away from Jill, and then I went back in November, and I reached out, and I was like, I will change. Let's do this. Let's do the best we can to make this work the best we possibly can. And I've talked on the show about, my misgivings or my failures in that area. I mean, within a couple of weeks, I blocked her one time on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Because we were having a fucking discussion about something, and I didn't like it. And I was like, fuck it. You're not changing. I'm out. And I blocked her and everything. And then 5 minutes later, not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes later, I was like, oh, what the fuck? And I brought her back. And I didn't think she noticed, but then it turns out when you do that on Facebook, it unfriends a person, and fuck, who knows? So then that was an explanation. And then I would tell her, I'd go, look, you got to understand. Yeah, I had a fucking tizzy. I had a fit, but I mean, I'm back. It's really hard for me to change lifelong behaviors in an instant, but we need to kind of work together on this if we could. But maybe I'm being unfair by saying you need to work with my psychoses. Maybe, because she would tell me, she's like, I'm happy, I'm happy Jill. And I'm like, great, be happy Jill. Maybe I'm not fucking happy Mike. There's no maybe about it. I'm not fucking happy Mike. I try to be. I tried to be as happy as I could with her, and that was one of the things I did was I put too much on her. But also I asked for things that I didn't get. Fuck, I don't even want to, I can't. You know what? Write me a note. I'll send you the show from earlier today. Holy fuck, you want to depress yourself? Jesus Christ, listen to that. So I won't lie to you. Even when Jill and I were broken up September through November, I would still go check her Facebook page every day, 5 times a day, 10 times a day. Like I'd check mine and then I'd check hers. Because there's no better way to get over a relationship than constantly going to your ex's social media to see the good times she's having without you. Oh, does that change the world? Oh, does that make you get over stuff really quickly? When you go, oh, so all that stuff that happened between us, you've gone ahead and fixed, and now you're being the best you with somebody else. That's great. And look, by the way, it's not like she had any photos up of dudes. I mean, none of that happened. But I always told her if we broke up, I was going to just fucking ether her. I was going to walk away and nuke everything because I could not see her be happy with somebody else. Is that immature? Maybe it is. It bothered her to no end. She'd always be like, what, we can't just stay friends? And I'm like, why the fuck would I want to be friends? And then here you had great times with some other dude after we were fighting, and the shit that I couldn't get you to fix, you wouldn't fix, and I couldn't fix myself. So, and again, like I said, perhaps that's immature. That's a terrible way of thinking. I'm a 50-year-old man, and why would I be that way? But also at the same time, if something goes fucking tits up, then why are you shake hands and go, good for you. I hope you're happy and I'll be happy. And you get away from the past. You try to run away from it. And again, maybe that's not the best way and the best move, but you got to do what you got to do to fucking survive. So I always told her I would do that. I was like, I'll just fucking, I will disappear. I mean, because I don't have any interest in seeing, I hope she would go on to continue and be happy and do the things that she needs to do. But I don't necessarily need to see that the woman I could not convince to trust me in the way I wanted to be trusted and to understand who I was as a person now is going through all that process with another dude, and he gets all the good stuff. And I'm a child. Yes, I get it. So I said when I went back in November, I go, I'm going to change. We're going to do this. We're going to make it work. So within like a week and a half, and again, I don't know the timeline on all of this shit because honestly, it's fucking exhausting. I mean, I for 3 years, it's been really fucking great, and then some shit will happen and it's not great, and it always turns into these small little things. And I kept walking away. I think I told you guys that I would schlep into the middle of the fucking road with my luggage or whatever. I'd bail, but I did that because I wasn't being heard. I did not feel, we were having the same fight over and over, but it would always be with different things. I'd go, why would you do this? I told you I didn't like this a month ago. And she'd kind of be like, well, sorry. Like that's on you, dude. And she'll tell you the same thing about me. She's got her own fucking side of this story, and I get it, which is why I have to be vague. Because I'm not trying to win here. I'm not trying to go, well, I'm the champion and then she's this. No, fuck. She's great. I love her. I hope things are happy. I hope she's doing well. That might tip off the end of this. Now that I fucking think about it. The bottom line is I went there for Thanksgiving and we had a fantastic week. We had a great week. And then like a couple days before I split, something happened and I was like, holy fuck, but I didn't bring it up. Because in my head, I was like, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to have the best week I possibly can. And hopefully, this is a new me. Because like I said, I was changing. I said, I'm not going to, because it's normally a thing that I would freak out about. I'm like, don't do that. Just fucking live your life and be happy and do what you can. You cannot, your 4 agreements, be impeccable in your word. Don't make assumptions. Do your best. Don't take anything personally. Those are important things. So I tried to keep them in mind until I then left. And then whenever I would leave her, we would wind up in this texting game where I didn't reply fast enough or she didn't reply fast enough or whatever. I don't even fucking know. And then when she wouldn't talk to me, she'd go, all right, I guess I'll talk to you next week. And I go, what are you talking? Just call me. And she'd go, well, you didn't call me. And I go, well, you can call me anytime you want. She goes, well, you can call me anytime you want. And it was that kind of shit. I mean, I'm 50. She's whatever age she is. I don't want to say. I don't know if she wants me to say. Yeah, she's 48. Whatever the fuck, she doesn't care. But it doesn't matter because we were both fucking 13-year-olds whenever we would interact like that. And it got incredibly frustrating for me. And I'm sure for her as well. Because she would say, you're not hearing what I'm saying. And I'd go, you're not hearing what I'm saying. And I would explain it, and she would not see my side at all. It was like and then she'd explain her thing, and I'd go, all right, I hear what you're saying, but here's what I think. And she'd go, oh, you're turning it around, you're blaming it on me. I go, I'm not blaming it on you. I'm telling you, I have concerns too. You got concerns, I got concerns. And eventually I got to a point where I said to her, Jill, there are battles you just don't fight in a relationship. Because otherwise it's going to fucking bring everything down. I mean, you're going to be laying in rubble because of texting or nonsense. And the definitive problem was I didn't trust her and she didn't trust me. And it wasn't even, she didn't trust me for different reasons that I didn't trust her. I apologize. Let me take that back. Let me fucking walk that back. She didn't trust me because I'd lied to her in the past. And I mean, there was a big one. And then there were like small ones, like shit, like where she texted me one night and I was like, hey, I was sleeping, and she goes, you were sleeping, you were just on Facebook. And I guess she saw that somehow with that fucking messenger thing, and I go, well, yeah. And then I had explained I was gonna jerk off. I think I told the story on the show, and I was like, yeah, I was gonna jerk off, and then I grabbed the phone, and she thought it was a lie. Like she was like, no, you lied to me. And I'm like, I didn't really lie. I mean, I didn't want to say, hey, I'm at the desk jerking off, and I grabbed your call when I could. I mean, so we had different things. To her, that was a huge fucking thing. It was a big lie. And it went to pattern, I guess, is what they say in courtrooms. And that's what it always seemed like. We'd be fucking talking, and I'd say something on the show, and she'd ask about it. Like I talked about the Snapchat thing. And I could never understand why that was a big fucking deal. Like, did you really think I was going to show my cock to everybody on a fucking Friday? I could not fathom it. And it became a thing, and I thought it was funny enough to tell you guys on the show, and then that just made her feel like a fool. Then she was just upset. She was like, now you talk about it, I look like an idiot. I'm like, I don't think that at all. I think I would always say to her, this is real life, and people are interested to hear how people deal with relationship problems in real life, particularly me. I mean, I'm a fucking petri dish where you can basically learn what not to do. But it just was too much. So, I was supposed to go see her on Christmas, and I was on the show with Lily, and I said, I said I was going, and I said I'm supposed to be on a plane in a couple of days, and Lily's like, I don't know, I think there's going to be a storm or something. And then Lily said, I guarantee you're not going out there. And then we talked about it, and I joked, and we moved on. And then and I didn't think anything of it. And then I was on the phone with Jill. I don't remember what, a couple days later. Because I was flying out there for Christmas on like Christmas Eve night. And on the 22nd or the 23rd, whatever, I don't even fucking know. We're on the phone and she goes, can I ask you something? And I said, yeah. And she goes, why would Lily guarantee that you weren't coming out here? I said, oh, I don't know. It's just silliness from the show. She goes, well, no, because you said you were supposed to be on a plane, which means you weren't sure if you're going to be on a plane. And I go, what? And she goes, you said you were supposed to fly out here. And then she said she guaranteed. So obviously you guys were talking about it before you went on the air. I said, no, I don't, what are you talking? I don't, because again, that shit would hit me. And I would just sit there like, I'm coming there on Christmas. Yay, I love you. You know what I mean? Like that's all I wanted it to be. I just wanted to have a fucking relationship where it's like, yay, I'm coming on Christmas. I love you. But she wanted to know what I meant by that and what Lily meant by that. And I go, I don't know. I said, honey, you'll have to, it was a joke. She goes, why is that a joke? It's not funny that she would guarantee you weren't coming out here. Why is that funny? I said, not everything's a joke on the show. She goes, well, you just said it was a joke. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, look, if you want to find out what she meant by that, call her. I go, I can't speak to what she meant, but you heard what I said and I have plane tickets. I'm flying out there, right? Yeah, but obviously something's up. And I mean, I don't know if you want to tell me something that you're not coming. And I go, honey, I love you and I'm coming out there and it's going to be fun. And she asked me, this is like 5 different times. And that's why I'm saying it. She had a lawyer quality about her because she was constantly, and I do the same fucking thing. I'm black and white. Everything's great or everything's fucking terrible. Well, she has this fucking innate sense to avoid being hurt. And I love her for it, but it was like to the point where I was going, look, I'm never going to hurt you. But the problem is I'd already hurt her in the past. So she was just waiting for me to do it again. She actually, she verbalized that to me. I am veering off a lot into what I talked about earlier today. I should not. So anyway, so then she asked me like 4 times, 5 times on the phone. Well, what did that mean? Why did she say that? And I'd go, I don't know. It's a joke. And it's not a joke. And she goes, well, you said that she guaranteed you're not coming here. And obviously you're not coming here, and last week you tried to move the date because you wanted to try to make some money. I go, yeah, I tried to move the date to the 27th instead of 25th so I could drive a weekend and make some extra cash because it looks like I'm going to be a little light this month, but tickets are bought. I'm coming. Yeah, but obviously you said something. So if you want to go there and you want to stay and make money, and I'm finally, I just went, I don't, and she goes, look, well, what? And I go, I've answered your questions 5 times. I've answered them like 4 or 5 times. I don't understand why you're continuing to ask. Well, because if there's something you need to say, obviously you guys talked about it. And I go, fuck it, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. And she flinched as if I had somehow just fucking smacked her because she was like, and then she looked at me and because we were FaceTiming and she immediately choked up and she goes, well, I knew you weren't coming. And I'm like, I was coming until the fucking Spanish Inquisition rode into town and asked me 10 times what the fuck I said on the goddamn show. And she's always been very hypersensitive that she doesn't want to look like a fool on the show. And I'm like, you're not a fool. What you have to understand is if we have a disagreement, it's interesting, it's fun, and it's funny. And as long as we're still a couple or we're together and we're in love, everybody goes through this. So if I talk about it, it's just, this is my life. And this is what you loved. This is what you used to love about the show. I thought. But she thought it made her look like a fool. And so I just, fuck it, I'm not coming. And she goes, well, I knew you weren't coming. And I go, no, I was coming. I was always coming until you asked me 6 different times in this fucking phone call what I meant. So that was on like the 22nd or the 23rd, and I let her go. And then I was home that fucking weekend. My mom was sending me a check. She was sending me a check to Jill's house for Christmas. So I had to call her and tell her, hey, Mom, I'm not going to Jill's, and she's like, all right, well, I'll just send your check to your house. I'm sorry, it's late. I go, Mom, don't worry. She goes, no, well, you understand. I go, Mom, you don't have to send me a fucking thing. She goes, no, I send everybody something it's just the way it works. It's Christmas. I go, fine. And then that weekend I just hid. On the 23rd, that little girl threw up in my fucking car. I had to go that next morning on Saturday to get the car shampooed and stuff. And the car was too wet inside for me to drive anyway. So I was like, fucking dude, take Christmas Eve and Christmas off. Even if you're just home. So I went out and I ran some errands. I got some soda to treat myself to some cherry Coke for the holidays. And then my friend Matt Weinhold, who I did Monster Party with, had sent me an email earlier that week, and he's like, hey, there's a Christmas Eve gathering if you're interested, if you want to come out to it. So on Christmas Eve itself, I sent him an email and I said, hey, look, is this happening? still, because if it is, I think I'd be very interested in coming. And he didn't answer. And then like 4 PM, I wrote him again. And then I texted him and he wrote me back and he said, hey, no, this is absolutely happening. I said, do you need anything? And he's like, because I was going to cook or bring something. He goes, no, man, just bring Diet Coke. We absolutely need Diet Coke. Other than that, we're fine. And so I went, and I actually went and got hummus. And it was weird. I got hummus and vegetables. I came home and I chopped up some cucumbers and stuff because I like kind of bringing something that I don't want to just bring a package of shit. I like the idea of cooking stuff. It's make me think that's what an adult would do, or a grown up, or a man. So I went and I didn't want to buy a relish tray. I had my buddy Paul. He's an awesome dude, but every time we'd have a gathering or something, he would bring something from like Costco or Trader Joe's, one of those big things with like already prepackaged carrots and cucumbers and broccoli and mushrooms and a bad fucking pool of ranch dressing in the center. I hated it. Every time it showed up, I'd be like, I wanted to go, dude, just put that right in the fucking trash. That is a useless, because those vegetables have been packed in that fucking case for fucking months, and there's no flavor left in anything, and so you might as well eat the fucking container. So I chopped up some Persian cucumbers and I brought some tomatoes, and I went and got this hummus from my restaurant, and because I've been to Matt's house before and he has like appetizers and stuff. I show up. Dude, his wife, Carolyn, made fucking Carrie. I don't know. I shouldn't say her real name. Yeah, I should. Carrie. She made fucking spaghetti dinner. I brought hummus and cucumbers. What a fucking collision that is. What a car wreck. But it didn't matter because I put it on the table, and of course people dabbled with it anyway, even after we ate dinner, and then we hung out. And I was there. It was Christmas Eve. I was there till fucking 3:30 in the morning. I cannot explain to you how fucking fun it was. We were talking and laughing. We watched an entire movie. Because Matt, he's a horror buff, obviously you can tell from Monster Party. So he has a projector that actually shows like old school movies. But now with fucking Netflix, you can find those movies on demand. So we watched some Christmas horror movie from the 70s from Canada. Margot Kidder's in it. And it was such a cool vibe, man. A warm house and Christmas lights, and we watched a movie, and I felt happy because I was bummed that I hadn't gone out of town. I was pissed at that kid throwing up in my car, and I was not feeling special, good, hopeful. I wasn't feeling any of that. So I was there till 3:30 in the morning, hang out. We talked politics, we talked everything, but we had a genuine fun discussion. Nobody was angry or ruthless, and I just had the best time. And I don't do that ever. I've made myself a prisoner of my house. I drive and I stay home. I drive and I stay home. And that's wrong. I go to the gym, I go see Shannon. That's it. So then Jill texted me on Christmas, just said, Merry Christmas, Mike. And I said, Merry Christmas, Jill. And then I went to her Facebook and she put a pictures of their family, and I was supposed to be there, and that made me sad. And I will tell you this, like I never went to her Twitter. I stopped going to her after I blocked her in November after I had my fucking meltdown. I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I mean, I can go to her Facebook because Facebook is Facebook and she comes up in my feed anyway. But Twitter was something I had to actively go to, and then she would like tweets and I would ascribe them to me. Like I'd go, this is obviously something about me or for me. And that's foolish. Again, don't make assumptions. Don't take anything personally. Do your best and be impeccable with your word. And I was violating basically all of those by going to her Twitter page. So I hadn't been to her Twitter page since November. I said, I can't look, I can't see. I don't want to. And again, it was funny to me, like after I had ethered her on those fucking social networks, like she never asked to come back. And I mean, I never asked her to come back. She never followed me. And it's just foolishness. It's foolishness on both ends. It's childish. But I actually, I had to refriend her on Facebook, and then I had to refriend her on Instagram, and she accepted, thankfully. But then Christmas, I was home and I drove. I didn't do anything. I didn't drive Christmas weekend, but I recorded shows. You heard me. I'd be over at Lily's house or I'd go see Lily, I'd go see Shannon, I'd go see John, and then I'd drive. And I'd be in my house and I don't even know, I don't remember what happened. Jill and I wound up eventually talking again because I wasn't sure what was going on, because I always walk away. And then it's funny when I talked about trust. I now that I think about it, I doubled back. She doesn't trust me, but I feel it's not that I don't trust her. I feel that she doesn't respect me in certain ways. I shouldn't be getting into this. Fuck, shut up. Because I would mention things that bothered me, and then they would continue to happen. And fuck, but I know she has the same beefs. But I will tell you this: I don't know when her show airs, so I don't know when you'll be able to hear those. One time when she was with me, I said, "You want to sit down and talk about this on the air?" And she's like, "Nope." I said, "Come on, that would be interesting if we actually got to talk about it on the air." And she's like, "Nope, no," which was probably the smart thing. Because I don't know if she would have known how to work the computer when I actually stormed away in anger in the middle of our discussion on the fucking show. So I don't remember who contacted who, in January. But then we wound up talking again. And because, there was never any official, like, I'm gone, goodbye, or I'm breaking up. We've done that before. We've done all this dumb shit before. And I don't remember any of it. All I know is we wound up talking again. And then she said, "Hey, don't forget to pick me up at the airport on Monday. The 20th, I think it was, of January. No, the 13th. It was the 13th. And I, in my head, I was like, wait a minute, what? And then I remembered that she had bought tickets to come, before Christmas, before everything had hit the fucking fan. She had bought tickets to come out here. And I was like, oh. And so I wrote her and I go, I had forgotten that you were coming out here. And she's like, well, I don't mean to presume anything if you don't want me to come out there. Or whatever. I go, no, it works. It's great. Now that I know, so I'm happy. And she came out here the week of the 13th. And it was great. She hadn't been out here in months, since I think August. And, I have a bed now, which was fucking a lot of the problems why I didn't, I'd be embarrassed to have her come out here because she's sleeping with me in a fucking chair. And I felt like a terrible boyfriend and not an adult. And she would always tell me, don't worry about it. And then she'd wake up in the morning and she'd be bent over because her back hurt so much from sleeping on the fucking ground or on my chair. Her neck would be all fucked up. And I'd be like, and she's like, no, honey, it's okay. Because she has a bad neck anyway. And I'm like, fuck, dude. But then I got the Seagull bed in the fucking house. I was so excited to have her come because I was like, we have a bed we can sleep in. And if we decide to sleep, there might be other things involved. So she came out. It was great. And she came to 2020, which was fantastic. And then we stayed for the teas, which was really fun. And we had a great week while we were here. And again, I was like, she's here. I love her and I'm happy and let's be happy. And then Tuesday we were going to go to sushi. I was excited for that. We wanted to go to sushi on Tuesday and because we hadn't been together in a long time. And, I will tell you this now. I alluded to it. I hinted at it. I talked about it before. But this is awesome news. Here's a respite. Here's some awesome news in the middle of all of this. A couple of months ago, you might remember I talked about our friend Ahmad in Kuwait. And I joked around about Ahmad. And I was like, I haven't heard from this fucking guy since I left. I mean, he literally left me with like a hug, a goodbye, and about $300 in Honduran cash or whatever the fuck he gave me. And I made a joke about it. So a couple days later, I got an email and he's just like, hey, idiot. I'd listened to the show, of course. I'm not going to write you all the goddamn time. I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say all that stuff. That would be mean. Hey, idiot. But he basically wrote, no, I'm here. I'm listening, which is fun. So I wrote him, I was like, all right, just teasing. So a couple weeks later, he wrote me and he said, hey, what does your February look like? And I said, I don't, right now, because all I had was a weekend. Jill and I, when we got back together, in November, we made a deal that we had to do therapy. And it's really hard to do weekly therapy because she's there and I'm here. So there's this book that we both read. It was a book that called Hold Me Tight. And I bought copies for me and for her. And we read it. And I found it to be a revelation. I fucking saw so much of myself and us in the book. So it's really hard to get these people who do this. There's this therapy called EFT, Emotionally Focused Therapy. And you have to be trained in it. You got to be certified in it. And there are people who've done like a course for like a day and then they consider themselves certified. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And there weren't a lot of people in Wisconsin who did it. There were a ton of people out here. But again, that would mean she had to fly in here to go to therapy. It didn't seem to make sense. So then we started to look for these retreats and these seminars. And they have a weekend of intensive EFT therapy where you would go, you would spend 2 days doing it. And then, what I wanted to do, and she did too, was we would go in, do the weekend, and then hopefully continue with it from then on in, or at least maybe see somebody else. But mainly we wanted to go and have an intensive weekend and try to get some real work done. And then 2 weeks later, I went to blocking her on Facebook and everything. We made a decision. I'm like, Jesus, we just got to get to February. We got to stagger in over the fucking finish line. Well, then she comes here for January, which is awesome. But Ahmad, I told him, I go, look, I have a weekend in February. I go, it's this particular weekend, but other than that, I'm open. And he goes, well, the national celebration is here, the 26th and the 27th, and I have some time off. Would you want to come and try to ride that camel? And it was astonishing to me. I was like, because again, I considered Ahmad a friend. And so now the fact that he would even think of having me come out a second time was amazing. And so it made me happy because it meant, hey, he is my friend. It wasn't just that I thought these things and I had hoped, and it wasn't because I told you it wasn't weird when I was there. I mean, we got along great. And so I wrote him and I said, yes, I would. And he goes, well, pick a date. And I said, what about this to this? And he said, yeah, that works great. And so I am going back to Kuwait. Kuwaiti Schmitty is back on the horse, the camel, whatever you want to fucking call it. But I leave February 21st and I get back on March 1st. So I'm there for like 10 days. I'm there for the national celebration. And I'm planning on doing it very much differently this time because, last time I was a little passive. I won't lie. I stayed at the Hilton, which was great. It was amazing. But I spent a couple days by myself in the hotel because Ahmad had real life to take care of. And then I didn't venture out of the hotel. And the Hilton was also kind of 2 miles from anything. And to ride a cab was daunting with the language barrier. And so I did not explore the way I wanted to. I waited for Ahmad to take me to do cool things. Well, that's going to change. And also I got Chuck's fucking camera the last time and I didn't use it. I didn't use it at all. So this time around, I contacted Ahmad and I'm like, well, is there anything you want me to do differently when I come out? He goes, well, do me a favor, stay closer to my house. Because I didn't realize this. The fucking Hilton that I stayed at was like 45 minutes from his house. So he's got to haul 45 minutes to pick me up. Then we drive all over the fucking place. Then at night, he's got to drive 45 minutes back and go to fucking work. It was not cool. So this time I actually, and you're going to mock, I'm sure you are, I'm, because I'm weirded out about it myself, I'm Airbnb-ing at a place closer to Ahmad's house, which I can't even imagine what it's going to be fucking like, because especially I have to record a show while I'm there, so I'm going to record it in this dude's apartment. He's an English guy, so I got that going for me. Not that I wouldn't stay with a Kuwaiti person, because I did. I tried. There was some dude named like fucking Zazu or Zanzibar or some shit. I don't fucking know. Zenza. I think it was Zenza. And he was my first attempt. But it turns out he's out of town. And he's like, so I can rent you the whole apartment for this much a week. And I'm like, hey, nice meeting you, Zenza. And then I had to go fallback plan with English Joe. And he seems great. He's got a gym in his apartment. He's got all sorts of cool stuff. And I don't know. It could be terrible. I talked about my other experiences with Airbnb. Yawning, I warned you. And they were weird, and that's also because I was with Jill and I get protective, and, the fact that the second dude ogled her and all that bullshit wasn't helpful. I told that story in here, right? When we were in New York? I hope so. If I didn't, fucking write me and I'll tell it next week. So this joint, though, is, it seems like a decent bedroom. It's got a balcony that opens out to, so for call to prayer, I can face Mecca and go to work. And then we're going to the celebration where there's like fireworks and I guess squirt gun. I'm excited. I'm really excited. So I also contacted Chuck. And I said, hey, dude, is there a way I can get your camera back? Or can you give me some advice on what kind of camera I can buy to take on this trip? Because especially with the YouTube channel, I want to try generating content. I want to try to get people on board with looking at stuff and seeing things. And, joining the page and realizing there's going to be bonuses and stuff, especially when I do a Patreon page. Hey, remember that? I'm doing it. It's a matter of when. But I've been sitting in my house and staring for weeks, and I will explain that in a few minutes. So I talked to Chuck, and he's like, well, you know what? You can absolutely use my stuff. You can use the camera, whatever you need to do. He goes, but here's the thing. You probably still have my camera because you never sent it back. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I sent you everything. He goes, no, you sent me like, I got all the cords and the stick. And he goes, I got everything except the actual GoPro. It's like a little cube, a little square thing. And I'm like, motherfucker, you got to be kidding me. Like I didn't even, and I felt terrible then. Cause I mean, I've been back and I sent that back to him. I don't know, fucking 5 months ago. And he never contacted me to say, hey dude, but he's like, yeah, I told you, cause I have extra ones. So it was just kind of a spare one. So he goes, if you want, I'll just send you this new one that you can use. I'm like, dude, no, I have your other one. Jesus Christ, let me find that one. But I cannot find it. Like I've looked all over my fucking apartment. I've looked in the luggage and I just don't see it. I swear to God, I sent back everything. But again, this is the perils of me never even really looking at anything when I was there. I don't know if he originally sent it. He's going to tell me he did, of course. And he could not be more generous or nice because, like I said, I was like, is there a way I can hit you up for another GoPro? And he's like, of course. He goes, but I will tell you this, you didn't send the other one back. And I'm like, why would you be willing to give me another one? Holy fuck. But you have no idea how excited I am. I'm so happy. I'm so fucking thrilled to go to Kuwait and staying a little more in the city. So if I don't get to see Ahmad, I can actually go out exploring. I'm going to bring a fucking camera and I'm going to try to bring it to you live as much as I possibly can. Not live, but I mean, I'm going to do videos, because it's funny. I did a bunch of videos and I kept them on my phone. And I think I've told the truth on this before. If I didn't, I put up a quiz. The last thing I really put up because I detailed my first 2 days in explicit detail. And then I put up a quiz, like a restaurant quiz. And I thought it was like a neat thing. I put it on the fucking Jokers page on Facebook. And nobody really kind of played like they sort of did, or they made fun of it, or they were just goofing around or whatever. And honestly, it took the fucking wind out of me for posting anything else. I know that sounds ridiculous. And it's the weirdest thing. Like, I want everybody to love everything that I do. It's really silly. I get that. But when I put up, because that quiz was just a silly little fun little distraction, but I thought it was neat. And also, I took fucking 30 photographs of 15 restaurants and then I put them up and I had to post them and write stuff. And then when people were just like, I don't know. And I'm like, or some people didn't even guess at anything. And I'm just like, why the fuck did I do this? And then it makes me, because again, black and white, and I'm a fucking weirdo. I go, well, wait, why am I even doing any of this? I mean, nobody's paying attention to any of it. There's no point in doing this. Nobody wants to see this. Obviously, they think it's fucking stupid. So there's no reason for you to fucking continue to do all these things. And so then, of course, I didn't. And then I had a ton of shit on my phone that I wanted to post. And once I finally got out of my tailspin and I went, you know what? Fuck this, dude. Post your cool stuff. Like I told you, the thing where I got my face threaded, so I got shaved. There's me on a fucking dune buggy in the desert. Like, I have these videos on my phone, but I updated my operating system and I can't get them off my phone. They're imprisoned on there. And I can't get them onto my laptop. So now I want to buy a new laptop so I can try to get them over there. But of course, that's fucking money. And now I'm trying to figure out a way to get them from the phone onto my computer so that I can post them on. And it's a fucking, what a joke. It's just a mess. So now I literally have a ton of Kuwait imprisoned in my phone, photos and cool ass videos from the bazaar and everything. And I did not post them at first because I was like, oh man, nobody played my restaurant quiz because I'm a fucking weirdo. And then I wind up paying the ultimate price. That seems high. Really? I think the ultimate price would be that I'm dead, I think. Or in this case, the ultimate price being that I have a phone full of Kuwaiti nonsense that I can't share with you because there's no way to put it up. Now I know what you're saying. Well, dude, just put it on Facebook through your phone, but I want to put it up on YouTube, the videos, and doing that with your phone, it fucking bricks your phone. And I mean, I won't be able to take all my many calls that I get during the goddamn day. Sure I do. Regardless. So anyway, the bottom line is, man, I'm going back to Kuwait. I'm going on the 21st, which is in a couple of weeks, week and a half now. Jesus Christ, it's flying. And then I'll be back on March 1st. And then actually I'm in town. This is fucking, here's the way this worked out. I scheduled it for after the therapy with Jill because I come home the morning of the 20th. I did on, is it the 20th, which is the Monday? Yeah, our therapy ends Sunday, and then we were coming home Monday morning. She was flying back to Wisconsin, and I was flying here. And then in 5 hours, I'm flying to Kuwait after coming home from San Francisco. But then I talked to Jill about it. We had moved the flight to Sunday night. So we came home, so I actually had a night here to pack and get things squared away because I'm leaving for fucking 10 days. And now I'm coming home on the 1st, and then the morning of the 2nd at 6 a.m., I'm flying to Phoenix. I'm going to spring training with my friends. Mex is going to be there, and Ak and the UN of Evil is going to spring training. It's hilarious. I think I'm so excited because I've talked about here before about how I wanted to go to get a cabin and I wanted to go hunting or go fishing or whatever, and all shit that I don't want to do. But what it really means is I just want to spend time with my friends. Well, this is what we're doing, man. And we're going to play fucking poker, and we're going to cook, and we're going to go out, and we already got tickets for 3 Cub games. Because I'm getting there Thursday. We're going Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're going to games every single day. One night we're going out to like a fucking cool ass dinner, but we rented a house. There's like 6 of us living in a fucking house it's like 5 bedrooms, and it's the greatest. I'm so excited, dude. You have no idea how fun. So I want to film that shit. I want to bring a GoPro for that, and I'm over the fucking moon. It's gonna be amazing. So the end of this month is gonna be crazy. Now I'm sitting here telling you that I'm just this fucking poor sap who's sitting around and is sad and upset and bummed. And I am right now. I have been. But there are cool things coming on the horizon. There are things that are going to be amazing. I mean, I'm starting the end of the month. It's just going to be this whirlwind of fun, and I'm hoping, I'm not even hoping, I'm planning, I'm going to make it a real effort to change my way of thinking and who I am. I mean, I have to. I mean, the reason I'm telling you about Kuwait now is because, Jill was here, and I found out that I was going. I knew I was going, but I wasn't sure because I was waiting for some things to clear and for Ahmad to take care of some stuff. And so then we went, it happened on Tuesday afternoon, and I was really excited. And so then Jill and I went out to sushi that night, and I had told her I wasn't sure if I could go to sushi because I wasn't, my money was a little iffy, and but then we went out to sushi. We sat down at the table, and I looked at her and I go, "I have a surprise for you." She says, "What?" And I go, "I am paying for dinner." She's like, "No, you're not. I know you can't afford it." I go, "No, listen to me." I said, I'm going back to Kuwait. And I thought she would be happy. And she didn't smile. She didn't say anything. She looked at me, she goes, "What?" And I said, I'm going back to Kuwait. And she said, "Why?" I said, "Well, because it's fucking awesome." I go, and she goes, "Well, but yeah, when you went the last time, you didn't have like the greatest time." And I go, "Well, no, it's not that I didn't have a great time. It's just that there were things I wanted to do that I didn't get to do. It was different than I expected. I was in the hotel more than I thought I would be, and then it was my own fault because I didn't go out and explore, and I won't make that mistake this time." She goes, "Oh, well, when did you find out?" And I go, "Well, I've known for a couple of weeks. We've been changing emails, but I officially found out this afternoon that I'm going." She said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Yeah, it's great. I'll be going right after our San Francisco trip. I'm flying. It's just, I got to figure it out." And she just like one-worded answered me at dinner the whole time. And, and then I ordered sushi, and she wasn't happy. And she went away a little bit, and I've been through that with her before. When I do the same thing sometimes. Fuck that. I can't do that. No, I don't do the same thing sometimes. I got my own bullshit, but I don't ever fucking just go away and mentally leave somebody. But yeah, but it was almost like she was bummed. So, we left after sushi, we came home, and we were both crazy full. She fell asleep. And we went to bed, and it was different. I knew it was different. It's nothing that I haven't been through before with her. She withdraws and she gets quiet. I get loud and I can get big, or I can withdraw, whatever the fuck. We all got our own things. And the next day I got up and I went to the gym, and, it was great. I saw her, and I told her I'd be back, and I got home from the gym, and she was all showered, and she's like, "Hey," she goes, "Can I talk to you?" And I said, "Sure." And she goes, "Come here." And I sat down at her feet, and she put her legs around like my thighs, and she was sitting on a chair, and I was sitting on the ottoman. She goes, "Can I talk to you?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Do you promise that you won't get vicious?" And I said, "I don't." So I knew then this was not going to be a fun conversation, because I don't get vicious. I said to her, I don't get vicious. I go, "I'm fine." And I've been vicious. I mean, there was a fucking argument in her house one time where I was going to tear down her blinds and run out of a window. Like, I'm not even joking. I was going to open a window and fucking leave. because there was no other way out of the house at the time. And I mean, so she's seen me lose my fucking temper. She's seen me scream and yell and fucking, and it's no fun. So she prefaced that with, you promise you won't get vicious. And I said, I'm not going to get vicious. And she said, why did you not tell me about Kuwait? And I said, I did tell you about Kuwait. She goes, no, you didn't. I said, I did. I told you at dinner last night. And I go, it was not official until then. And she goes, well, when did you find out? I go, I found out it was official yesterday afternoon, and that's why I couldn't wait to tell you at dinner. And she said, so you lied to me all day. I said, what do you mean I lied to you? She goes, well, you knew all day. She goes, I made us salad. I made us lunch. I did everything for us yesterday. And you could have had every opportunity to go, oh my God, honey, this is happening. But instead you sat with me. You watched movies. She goes, you had this secret and you didn't tell me. You lied to me. I said, I didn't lie. It was a surprise. I waited to tell you at dinner because that's why I was buying dinner, because it's festive, it's fun, and it's a celebratory dinner because I'm going out of town, because I'm going on this amazing trip. And things deteriorated from there. Because then she kept saying, no, you lied about it. I said, I didn't fucking lie. I didn't, and I was trying to be calm. I didn't want to get vicious because I already promised that I wouldn't. But again, she kept saying, no, you lied. And I answered it again 5 times, 6 times. I'm like, I didn't lie. I didn't do this. And she goes, well, no, it's the same thing. Like, when you had Christmas, you were going to come for Christmas. And she goes, you knew you weren't coming. That's why you said that on the show. And that's why your mom sent you the check to your house. And that's why you went to your friends for Christmas Eve. And I go, no, whoa, what are you talking about? I go, all that shit came about after our phone call. I said, I had to call my mom and tell her that she was going to send the check here. And she goes, well, what did you tell her? And I go, I told her we had a fight and I wasn't going to Wisconsin. And she's like, well, she was, one day she was going to send you the check, and then all of a sudden she wasn't. And then on the show you say, oh, Lily says she guarantees you're not coming. I go, Jill, I answered these questions. I'm not going to do it again. And she goes, well, no. And then you lie about Kuwait, and it's just, you see now, do you see my side of it? Why it's hard to trust you or hard to believe what you're saying? And I'm like, no, I don't see that at all. I didn't lie about anything. Matt emailed me, and then I accepted on the 24th after I wasn't coming by you. She goes, yeah, but you must have known that you weren't coming, and that's why you went to do this stuff, and that's why your mom sent the check here. I go, this is not like, and finally I go, fuck this, I'm not doing this. And I got up, and she tried to hold me with her legs, and I pulled away. And I go, I'm taking a fucking shower. I'm not getting called a liar in my own house. And she said, see, you're getting vicious. I go, this is not vicious. I go, I've answered your questions. I've answered them over and over. And honey, I'm not lying. I'm not a liar. You think I'm a liar. There's nothing I can do about it. I will never change your fucking mind. I can't. So I went into the bathroom and I brushed my teeth, and then I came out and because then in my head I'm like, am I wrong? Am I wrong here? Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe and unveiling this shows me for the fucking gorilla that I am, or the fucking idiot that I am. I don't fucking know, man. I got no idea. All I know is to be called a liar. I lied about Kuwait, or I didn't lie about any of that shit. Not at all. I fucking, surprises aren't fucking lies. Fuck! I didn't want to do this. I apologize. So that happened. And, we had the rest of the trip, and the rest of the trip was great. We hung out together, and because I will tell you this, the next couple hours were a little shaky. And then I came out and I sat with her, and she held me, and everything was fine. And she laughed, and we joked, and we watched TV, and I thought everything was great. I mean, I was, again, these are battles that don't need to be fought. I didn't save it for if I do something bad or terrible. I don't, because I won't do anything bad or terrible. And I could never convince her of that, because I did something bad or terrible once. She was waiting for it to happen again. So the rest of the trip she was here. I didn't even want her to go. I didn't want her to leave. And then some other, when I drove her to the airport, some shit happened at the restaurant, whatever. There's always stuff happens, man. It just does. And so I don't know. So I dropped her off, and we texted all day on that Thursday. And then Friday we texted, and then And we texted Saturday, and again, texting is always weird. Like, and I've always told her, hey man, you can call me anytime you want. But then she'll be like, well, I don't want to bother you. And I'm like, you never bothered me, just call me. But then if I don't call her, she thinks that means I don't want to talk to her, I guess. I don't dude, I can't. I don't know. But sure enough, I dropped her off Thursday, and by Sunday, the same shit was happening. You know, like, she went to watch a football game, and then I texted the wrong thing, and then we didn't talk for an entire day, and then and I wasn't going to play. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't. So I would text her, hey, I love you. You know, I'd text in the morning, or I'd text at night when I went to sleep, and it was all vague, small talky bullshit. There was no feeling behind it. It just was dumb. It was just fucking dumb. And then we talked, we FaceTimed, and we tried to fix it. And I heard why she was upset, and I thought it was silly, but you know, you can't invalidate people's feelings. And I was like, well, but you never said that to me. And then another day went by, because that was the thing I used to say to her, you know, if you got a problem, let's fix it. We'll fix it in 2 minutes. But, you know, she would tell me the problem, and I go, that's a silly fucking problem, but all right, let's fix it. And that's my own fault. I shouldn't do that. I need to take all of her concerns seriously, and I tried, but when everything was a concern, and like I said, when you think that I lied to you because I didn't tell you something because I wanted to tell you as a surprise later over dinner, then that's not a concern to me. That's for her, and that's fine, and I love her very much. And unfortunately, that's just the way it was. You know, we had different feelings about different things. And like I said, she's got a version of this story that I'm sure is completely different. It's a complete 180. So, you know, we went a week, and with stupid texting and just bad, silly stuff. And then we talked, and it looked like, you know, I was walking away again, and we were breaking up and whatever the fuck. And because I said to her, I go, look, if you think I'm a liar, because again, it came around to that. That's what I mean. We were already relitigating Christmas in January after I said I canceled Christmas because I didn't want to talk about it anymore. But she didn't get the answers that she wants. And because again, and I know there's a lot you're not hearing. You know what I mean? There really is. Because there's stuff that I did that drove her out of her fucking skull. And there's stuff that she did that drove me out of my fucking skull. And we tried, man. We did everything we fucking could to make it work the best we could. And then, you know, she texted me, and that week we talked on FaceTime, and I said, look, I'm not a liar. If you think I'm a liar, there's no getting around that. She goes, well, I didn't say you were a liar. I said that you lied. I go, but by saying that I lied, that makes me a liar. Again, it's all verbiage and lawyer bullshit, and I used to tell her that, and then that would get her really mad because I go, I don't need to deal with your lawyer nonsense. And we didn't fight well together, and we fought too much. And it was real life. That's just the way it is. But then I would, in my opinion, I would swallow shit that nobody should have to swallow. And then when I would tell her about something that I was concerned about, she'd just go, what? Yeah, that's not a big deal. And I go, well, no, it's a big deal to me. But I changed my life to try to be what she wanted, to show her that she could be safe and everything was okay. And maybe I didn't do a good enough job. I don't know. So we texted, and you know, and then she wrote me the next day, and she's like, look, do you really want your stuff? Because it will break my heart. And she, whatever, I don't want to get into it. But she said all those things. And then I wrote her back, and I said, look, don't send my stuff, okay? But we really have to talk. I mean, like, really talk. And then I said, you know, a lot of things, a lot of paragraphs. She hated long texts, but I would do it. She also hated I would do this thing where I would cut and paste her text and then answer her stuff. And she thought that was me reprimanding her, and I wasn't. I was like, no, it's just a way for me to keep track of what I'm talking about. But I don't know, man. Everything each one of us did was wrong, it seemed like. So I wrote her this text, and it was all about, I love you very much, and you know, I don't want you to send my things, but we really have to have a long talk about what's happening in our life when the same things keep coming up and keep being a problem. And whatever, I don't even remember what the fuck I wrote, but I know at the end I wrote, But if you think I'm a liar and you think I lie to you about things and you think I want to make you look like a fool, then maybe it's best that we're apart. Because those things aren't true, but I can't convince you of that. I said, I love you very much. She didn't answer that text. And then, I don't know, later that night, 3 hours, I don't know, a couple hours later, I went online and I checked, I checked my mail first. I checked my Mike Schmidt Comedy. I checked my standard email that you'll never hear about, where all of my fucking bills and shit go to. Some of you know what it is. And then I checked my Gmail account. In the Gmail account, I get to see all the YouTube. That's the business account. That's the comedy account. MikeSchmidtComedy.com that's my personal account where I get emails from you guys. But then MikeSchmidtComedy@gmail.com is that's where I see business transacted. That's where my PayPal address, all that stuff. If you guys buy a shirt, it goes there. Or if you donate to the show, it goes there. Or if you cancel your donation to the show, it goes there. So I went there that night, and it said Joe Bublitz has canceled monthly payments to you. And I knew at that moment that was serious. I know that sounds silly to you, but she's donated to the show since the beginning. And then even when we became friends, I would say, you should probably stop donating. And then when we became life partners, I go, you need to stop donating to the show. It's almost embarrassing at this point. And she said, what do you mean? And I go, well, I love you. I mean, we're going to be together the rest of our lives. I mean, you have given me credit cards. We have joint credit cards in my name. You've given me access to that. I mean, we're bicoastal. We're in a long distance relationship and we're in love and we're going to be together forever. And we talked about marriage. We've talked about all these things, and you still send me $25 a month. So it's embarrassing. She said, why is it embarrassing? It's how I'm supporting you. I said, well, yeah, but you support me so many other ways. She goes, but that's supporting the show. I love you, and I love supporting you, and I love taking care of you and giving you things and keeping you happy and keeping you safe. But this allows me to donate to the show because the show was the first thing that brought us together. And it always reminds me of that. And I couldn't argue with that. I tried. In my head, I tried. And so I was like, okay, and I would accept the donation. And in my head, I was always like, well, I'm just going to send it right back to her, or I'm going to buy her $25 worth of perfumes or whatever. That was some lotion from Victoria's Secret. And then I went, well, no, that's not in the spirit of what she wanted to do. She wanted to support the show. And so I finally stopped. And it took a while. It took, I think, 2 years. I badgered her about it. And finally I just said, accept a nice thing. Take the compliment. And realize how much it means to her. So to see that be canceled, when it wasn't even canceled when we were broken up in September, October, I knew. So I went to Facebook, and she was gone. And she'd done that before. We'd had fights before, and her page had disappeared, and I didn't know what that meant. And it would be back in a day or two, But her canceling the donation, for some reason I went, well, this is more than this. So I went on my phone and I went to Instagram, and she was gone. But on Instagram, you can just unfriend somebody. I guess I don't know much about Instagram. I just know that I literally only followed 2 people, her and Lily, and then I went on the phone and she was gone. And her account was private. But I still didn't know for sure until I went to Twitter. I told you I hadn't been on her page since November. And I put in her name, and it came up, and it said, "You have been blocked from following any of Joe Bublitz's tweets." So then I knew I had been blocked on Facebook and blocked on Instagram, I guess. And she was gone. And I can't, I'm sad. I can't be mad. I can't be upset about it. You know, when I broke up with her in September, or walked away from her, or whatever you want to call it, she wrote me and said, you know, honestly, I almost admire you for doing this because I never could have done it. And I was proud of that statement, but I was also devastated. Because I'm just insecure enough to know that any admiration at all, I'll suck it up like a fucking sponge on a drop of water. So for her to say that she admired that I had the courage to do something like that made me feel important. But I was ashamed it had to be that moment that gained her admiration. So like I said, I couldn't be mad because, you know, when I would tell her that I was going to ghost her, I said, I can't see you be happy somewhere else. I can't see you in somebody else's arms. I can't see you smile. And she'd get mad at that. She'd literally say, you have no idea how much I love you. That's never going to happen. I'd say, well, if somehow we wind up separated or walking away, I can't even risk it. I can't see you. I can't see somebody else, one of these other guys. I can't lose to them. And I know that sounds childish, but it was true. I wanted her to be happy, but I couldn't see it. Because I've fought so hard for so long to be the one to make her happy. And in the moments when I did, oh God, I never felt better. You know, I've said, there's birds outside. I've said, you know, I've been asked before, like I've told you that having her asleep on me is my favorite thing. Because she was with me, she was on me, she was warm, she was basking in my warmth, she was close. And I knew I couldn't make her sad. If she was there, she was there and she was mine, and there was no chance I could lose her because she was asleep and I couldn't do the wrong thing to make her sad or to make her worry. We were sharing warmth. I had I had to go to traffic school last week. That's something I've put off for a couple of months, actually. I got extensions, or one extension, but they asked a series of questions. You know, you have to answer what's your favorite fruit, what's your favorite color, where'd you grow up, all, you know, because they have to make sure that you're the one taking the test. And one of the questions was, what's your favorite place in the whole world? And I wrote Jill's couch. Because it was. Laying on the couch with her, whether she was asleep or awake, but I preferred it when she was asleep, honestly, because she was at peace and I could see it. And there was no chance I could change it. And to hear a train whistle in the background, I would literally turn the television, I would mute it and listen to her breathe and listen to train whistles and just be so happy. So I had told her all along that I would, if it ever happened, I would disappear, and she would be angry. She would say, well, why can't we stay friends? Or why can't we do this? And And so I can't be upset that she walked away. And so she blocked me. And it's been a couple weeks now. I texted her and I wrote, hey, I've gone to see that I've been blocked on all social media, so just send my stuff and I'll send yours when I get a chance. And sure enough, a box showed up at my house with all of my socks and shirts and underwear and the life Wisconsin Mike was sent home. And a note inside that said some very nice things. And it's funny. I said send my stuff and I'll send yours, but we've played that game before and then never sent the stuff. And when that box showed up, I was like, all right. So now and I haven't sent her stuff yet, and that's more of a function of the fact that I can't bring myself to leave my house. Between this and then also. This is so weird. I think I mentioned I was obsessed kind of with her, in my opinion. Like I would follow her Facebook page and I had to make myself stop going to her Twitter page because it made no sense. Well, now she's gone. I've been blocked. I can't see those things. And like I said, I understood and it made sense. So I should have concentrated on myself and changed some of the bad things that I have about me, or fixed some things about my life, or looked forward to Kuwait, or looked forward to Phoenix, or thought about these really great things. But in reality, I go see Shannon, I go see John, and then I come home. And like I said, I should answer emails. I should do the things that make my career better and make my life better. But here's what I did, actually, and it's foolish, but I did it. For the past, I've been paying attention for months, but for the past 2 weeks, or 3 weeks even, I've become consumed by politics and the world, and I started to read Twitter like a book. Like I would wake up in the morning and I would go to Twitter and I would just keep refreshing it and reading it for 10 hours, 12 hours, however long I was awake. I would scroll back and read, and I would find articles to read about football and things like that, but I was mainly concentrating on, I started to really dive into what was happening, and I was upset enough with what was going on in my life. And then I started to focus on the world, and I found myself, and again, that's why I'm saying I became fatigued. I don't want to be one of those people, but Jesus Christ, for the past 3 weeks, I've burnt myself out in such a way where, I'm worried, like a lot of us are worried. Some of you are very happy, and that's cool. But all of the obsession I used to have for Jill, where I'd check her Facebook, or I'd check her Twitter, I'd wonder, I'd worry, I'd try to, I turned it on the world. And I would be consumed by outrage. I would sit in my house and I'd be so upset, and then I'd say, well, and the thing is, this is going to go on for 4 years. These people are going to destroy this country. And I've never been a country guy. I'm not one of these guys who's like, the grand old flag or whatever the fuck. None of that stuff. Because again, like I said, you elected presidents and they lied about some stuff and they didn't really fuck anything up too bad and everything seemed to be okay and everybody survived. And I'm not a lady and I'm not a minority, but I would do what I could to help them, and I would always be against, we'd all be outraged about a school shooting, or we'd all be outraged about a police brutality case, or we'd all be outraged about somebody getting jumped somewhere, and you'd be terrified by that sort of thing, and you'd be outraged and you'd be upset for a couple days. But this has just been mainlining outrage. It's like it's hooked up into an IV directly into my fucking skull. And I get madder and madder and more upset and more frustrated and more, again, because I recognize this pathology. You can't fix yourself. I should. Check this. You don't want to work on yourself. I mean, I got problems. I know what I got to do. I've talked about it with Shannon for 3 fucking years. I know in the dark when it's quiet exactly what's wrong with me. And instead of focusing on that in these past 2 weeks, I took, because Jill was heroin. You know, I mean, she was everything to me. And so, I mean, I would text her in the daytime. I'd text her at night. I'd go to her Facebook page when she was asleep. I'd look at old photos of her. I'd look in my phone. I mean, I've got to have 3,000 photos of us in movies and videos of us. I have this great video of her. She's in the subway in New York, and she's leaning against a girder, and she's on her phone. She doesn't know I'm filming her. And I'm filming her as she checks her phone, and a fucking train just goes behind her, like at full train speed. It's 5 feet behind her. She doesn't even look up. She was just such a New Yorker in that moment. I loved it. I showed it to her. It was perfect. So I've taken these past 2 weeks, and you know, when you have a breakup, you're supposed to go running or pay attention to the things that, whatever. There's a mourning period. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Because I'll tell you what, when Karen split, I went right to Jill. Jill and I were friends, but I had hoped for something more than that, and we kind of had a connection, and so I never really took any time to be alone or to mourn. I was crushed and devastated when Karen happened. And then within a week and a half, I had gone on to going, well, fuck, you got to do something. And then I got the job offer from Lenny, and then we were on to our new life without any regard for the old. And so now I find myself, because look, I'm sure it's probably depression. I don't know medically what you would call it, but I'm unhappy. You know, I've been at odds with the woman I love for what seems like a year or longer, back and forth. And I could never be happy or make her as happy as I wanted her to be. There were moments, moments of intense, unbelievably rich happiness. But then those would go away, and there'd be these moments of long silences and foolishness. And we could never get over the hump to make that go away. So, now I should focus on fixing the things that I did wrong, or actually getting a career and writing another CD. And, I have all these grandiose ideas, like, the YouTube page, and I want to go out this summer and do some shows. I want to bring the GoPro, the Patreon. I mean, I have all of those things locked and loaded, and I'm just trying to find the motivation to do them, because, again, last week I didn't even want to do a fucking show. I mean, I wanted to do a show, but I couldn't because it was going to be this show. But I cheated, so I apologize to you. I cheated last week, and I pussied out of doing a fucking show, and I put up. I did a Glory Days thing. I did a Hey Remember When, and that's not acceptable. You got to move forward. You got to be a shark. You can't rely on your past to make your future better. You can become informed by your past and then do everything you can to make your future better than your past. That you can't say, hey, remember that? Hey, remember that? No, you have to look forward and make other good things happen. You have to do shows just as good as the ones you did in year 3. You have to go do live shows. I mean, Facebook does this thing where they're like, on this day, and you look back, and I realize, I was in, like 4 years ago this week, I was in Aurora, and I met David Kemp. He came up, and I signed some stuff for him, and I did a show, and I was getting ready to do the CD. I was doing the shows where I was trying to get the CD in shape, and you see all that stuff, and you're like, fuck, what the fuck happened to me, man? I used to be, and I have amazing things. I went to Kuwait last year. I'm going to Kuwait again. It's fucking unbelievable. The great things that are at my fingertips, the life I'm leading, I need to open up and experience as much of it as I possibly can, and realize that, again, like I said to you earlier, I don't have it bad. I'm not trying to put kids through school. I'm a 50-year-old guy who hasn't achieved the things he's wanted to achieve, but it's been my own fault. I've stood in my own way. I cleaned up my apartment, and don't think I didn't take the rest of the day off. My desk was a mess. You know, the rest of my apartment's clean. I mean, it's not like I can't stand dirty dishes. I don't want any. My house is clean, but it's not spotless. But I mean, my desk was fucked. I mean, it had all this old mail and shit on it and stuff. And so I also have a bunch of other things. You know, I finally sent Jeff his shirt. And I sent Eric his autograph. I went and made a post office run last week. And in cleaning off my desk, you know, I was going to send Jeff some silly stuff to go along as a thank you for him waiting for his shirt. What I should have done was refunded his fucking money. But when I was looking through, I have stacks of legal pads and stacks of old comedy notebooks and stuff, and I found a legal pad and I was writing on it, and I recognized it, and I almost fucking fell over because I couldn't believe I still had it. And I'm going to read part of this to you. It's weird. I think, I wind up in frustration. I'm 30 years old, for God's sake. I've done nothing but continue breathing. If I could only realize what it is that holds me back, holds me down, why don't I care? I just want things to be simple. I know they're not, but it doesn't make me work harder. I'm even neglecting the one thing I'm good at, possibly crippling my only chance at achieving the very things that my heart aches for, doomed to an existence of bitter why me's. Is that my fate? Of course, the funny thing is I choose to scribble this instead of working on things. Basically, even this rambling confession is produced as a way to yet again avoid working, a scalding indictment of myself that I only choose to create at the expense of the very thing I'm indicting myself for ignoring. Irony. There's a lot more, but I wrote that 20 years ago. It sounds like I could have written it 20 minutes ago. So, I guess I still have work to do. In the midst of all this, you know, I've been sitting in my house, and I'm not kidding. I don't go anywhere. I made myself buy a ticket for John Wick tonight, so I'm going alone. I'm just going to see a movie by myself to get out of my fucking apartment. I go see Shannon on Monday. I see John 3 times a week, and I haven't even driven in 3 weeks. I don't go anywhere. I sit in my house and I tell myself it's going to be different today. And I laugh at myself. I sit in a chair and I laugh. What are you doing? The fuck are you doing, man? You could take 4 steps over. I'll have my laptop with me in my chair, not even at my desk, and I'm reading about mixed MMA or UFC or fucking football or baseball or any of that. Anything. Politics. Anything to avoid doing the fucking stuff I'm supposed to be doing, which is so dumb. So dumb. Because I've had great things. I still have great things. I mean, Kuwait's on the horizon, the YouTube channel, Patreon, all this stuff's going to be great. Putting together a new CD, touring. I told you I've reached out to a couple of theaters. I haven't heard back, but I want so badly to make this my life. But you just heard from a legal pad. I've wanted this forever, and I just don't. I don't do it. And this may piss you off. You may hear this and be like, "Well, fuck you, dude. You don't have any real problems." And I get that, man. I truly do. I read a passage from an author who was basically broke, and then her book, you know, she wrote a first book. It took forever, and then her second book got optioned. Oprah found it, and it became a big deal. Well, they did an interview with her, and she's like, "I was on the New York Times bestseller list, but we were broke. We had $80,000 in credit card debt. My husband and I were just doing everything we could to try to float, because when you write a book, you get advances, and they come piecemeal, and you got to pay your agents." And she said, "We qualified for food stamps. I had a book on the New York Times bestseller list. I qualified for food stamps." And they said, "Well, did you ever take them?" She goes, "No, I didn't, because when I was a kid, I was really poor. So I knew what it meant to be really poor, and I could not bring myself to do that, knowing that there were other people out there who really needed the help." And that's how I feel. You know, this is all of my own making. I recognize that. You know, I'm able-bodied. Fuck, if I wanted to go be a waiter somewhere, or I wanted to do those things, I could and I would. And I Uber and I Lyft and I do the things I have to do. I mean, all my bills are paid. I got it made in the shade, and all I really need is the woman. Understand? But I mean, my bills, I pay my bills. I'm not behind anything. All my credit cards went to shit when fucking Karen bailed. And when the wreck of the Karen Fitzgerald happened, that happened. But as far as like phone and gas and cable and rent, I mean, I haven't been late on my rent in 20 years. I mean, I pay my bills. But so what? So does everybody in the fucking world. You can't take pride in that. You can't be like, yeah, it's like Chris Rock, where he's like, yeah, you pay for your kids. Well, you're supposed to pay for your fucking kids. You're supposed to pay your bills. If you make those choices, that's on you. So in the midst of all this, of me sitting in my house and doing nothing and staring, and I'm assuming this is depression. At least that's what Google mentions to me. At least a low-level version of it. I'm not at the non-showering part yet. That's actually, that's an accomplishment. I shower, I get dressed, and then I immediately just fucking lose myself in anything but work. Because I'm smart. So in the midst of all this, I checked my email a few days ago. And I got an email from a listener named DJ. I'm not going to say who. But DJ has apparently heard via the show that and picked up on some signals and decided to step up and send me some information regarding depression. And here, I'll read you. I won't read all of it, but I'll just pull up part of the email. And it said, I get where you're coming from with getting stuck in process, not being who you want to be or as good as you know you are, success-wise. It's a bitch to be smart enough to see all the fuck-ups and at the same time, keep fucking up. Give this a read. It had some stuff that worked for me. I didn't write it, but what the hell, I'll recommend it as it's helped me a little. It's fuck all long-winded in some ways, but the idea of no more 0 days being a goal, and it's basically a subreddit, and it's about changing your life and achieving things the right way. And it's funny, Shannon has referred me to TED Talks and told me about some books, and I read them, and they're very rah-rah, and I that's just not my thing. I find them, and it's how I used to feel about like cosmopolitan quizzes. Which I would take when I was a kid when my mom had the book, and I think I needed to learn something about ladies. If you ever miss a question on a cosmopolitan quiz, you're doing it wrong. I mean, very wrong. Because it is so easy to pass. Literally, it'll be stuff like, your woman should orgasm, A, when her body feels comfortable enough to do so, B, all the time, C, never, D, a woman who cares. It would be those dumb things, and you knew what the answer was. So it would drive me crazy. So, Shannon told me about these TED Talks and stuff, and I just they don't do anything for me. But this thing DJ sent, I read it, and it's a lot of verbiage, but it came down to 4 things. And the 4 things were: forgive yourself. Don't hold yourself accountable for all of your sins of the past, and forgive yourself for doing things, and just realize that that's what happens, and move forward. Be grateful. Be grateful for good things. Be grateful for bad things, because you learn from them and you can turn them into good things. Self-improvement, which is, it's basically, it says exercise in books. And that's true, because I'll tell you this, when I first started dating Jill and I was doing Eating is for the Week, I would go run. And I would run on the treadmill, and I'd be in the sun, and I'd be looking up, and it would be, 88 degrees outside, and I'd be soaked in sweat, and I would breathe, and I would feel the sun on my face, and I felt so good. I mean, I felt unbelievable. I felt sore and hurt, and I had to struggle to get up the stairs to get to my car, but I didn't fucking care. It meant that I blew my legs out lifting, or it means that I ran 3 miles, and I was a little, I was all shaky-legged, but I didn't give a fuck. I ran 4 miles once, literally. I was doing over 3 a day for like 3 times a week. Not 3 a day, 3 times a week. So, but then one time I did over 4. I pushed myself, and I loved it. I loved it so fucking much. Music sounded different. When I was first with Jill, I was so happy to make the improvements in myself to show her that I was worth being and loved. I know that sounds ridiculous. So forgive yourself, be grateful. Self-improvement, which is, concentrating, like I said, on exercise and fixing yourself. And then non-zero days. And this is the thing that to me was the most important. And what it basically says is you have no days where you don't accomplish something towards your final goal. And look, again, I'm sorry if you're getting all rah-rahed out and I'm doing the same thing to you that I hate, but it's the truth. Non-zero days, they're like, well, you know what? If you get up and you write one sentence of your novel, that's a non-zero day. I mean, obviously it's not enough. You need to get to a point where you're creating a lot more, or at least, at a level that makes sense. But non-zero days. So you don't let any day go by that gets wasted. And this email came on Monday. And so I read it, and it's so funny. DJ wrote, "Look, I know you don't fucking care about this, but I'm just sending it to you because it might be too much." And DJ, I got to tell you, man, that you have no idea that came at the perfect time. The perfect time. Because I walked out of Shannon's office on Monday, and I got in the car and I checked my mail, and it was there. And it followed up perfectly on what I talked to her about that day and every day. Changing my life and being the best me that I can possibly be, and doing the things I'm supposed to be doing, and accepting the fact that you're going to fuck up and you're going to fall back and you're going to make mistakes, but also accepting the fact that you're loved and people are out there rooting for you and they want you to do good things. And if you take a look back in total, I can say stuff like, oh, I'm a Lyft driver and I'm doing this show, but dude, I've been fucking overseas because of this show. I've been to Canada to entertain people there because of the show, and then went out afterwards with great people. I've made unbelievable friends because of this show. And that's why I'm embarrassed about last week that I fucking pussied out and didn't do a show for you people. I don't ever want to take this for granted. I've talked about it, but last week I was in, I'm still in the same place, but I fucking made myself do it this week. And here's what you got. I don't know if you're happy about that or sad, but this is what you wound up getting. So I apologize for ducking out and maybe letting you down last week and not doing what I was supposed to do, avoiding my work. And this is more about me apologizing to myself. This is me forgiving myself for not doing what I was supposed to do last week. And I'm grateful, not just for the opportunity to come back and entertain you, but also the fact that you would let me be indulgent enough to explain all this to you. And like I said, I got this email right after I walked out of Shannon's office, and I read it. And then like an hour and a half later was when Lily called me and she said, hey, I've got the tease tonight, so we're going to probably bump Tuesday to Wednesday. She says, can you do me a favor? I said, what is it? She goes, will you do a set for me at the tease? Because she had a performer cancel on her. And I went, because my instinct these days is to say no to everything. My friends have poker on a Thursday, and I go, nah, I don't know if I can make it. And then I just sit in my house. The Super Bowl, I watched it at my house alone. Lenny, I don't know if I got to be honest with you, I don't know if I've talked about this yet because I did the show earlier today. So I may have covered this already. But Lenny asked me to go to a Super Bowl party at this unbelievable, I got a producer's house. And then the guy's got a wiffle ball field in his backyard that looks like Fenway Park. He actually has a model of the Green Monster. And I turned it down. I was like, nah, you know what? I got to see what happens. And then I sat in my own house in my apartment and watched it. So then Monday I went and saw Shannon, and then I got that email, and then Lily, it just seemed fortuitous that she wrote me and she's like, hey, would you do a set for me? And I wanted to say no, man. I totally wanted to say no, but in my mind, that would have made Monday a 0 day. And I can't have any more 0 days. So I said I'd do it. And then I went Monday night, and Lily went up and she was really funny, and she fucking killed it. And so I was in my head, because I always tell myself I don't want to do the tease because it's not my kind of crowd. Like, they don't want to see stand-up. They don't want to hear me talk about myself. They're there to see girls get naked. Why the fuck would they want to see a stand-up in the middle of all that? They want to see somebody swallow a fucking machete or do a somersault on a bed of nails or some bullshit. Nobody wants to hear me talk about my life. And I've convinced myself of that. So she went up and she was incredibly funny, and she was bawdy and she was dirty. And in my head, I'm like, fuck, that's what they want. You know, they don't want to fucking hear a story about my life. They want to hear dirty. They want to hear this. And she said to me, you know, I'm going to bring up 2 dancers and then you're going to go up. So the dancers went up and I was waiting to go up, and she, in between the dancer and me, she was funnier. She was on it that night, man. She did a great job Monday. And then she brought me on stage and I fucking crushed it. You know, I got laughs from the second I walked up because I played off something that had just happened, which is what I usually do when I work. And that was it. They were on my side. And then I worked the crowd a little bit. I made fun of some dudes in the front row. And then I told a couple of stories. I actually tied a car story in with a story from the show. And I mean, I felt in control. I mean, I remembered what I'm good at. I remembered who I was. And it made me want to do more. And I've done this before, and I've talked about it on the show before, but I'm telling you, man, every time I get emails from somebody like DJ where it says, you know, real solid advice, and there are books, and people reach out to me, and finding this thing that I wrote when I was 30, I mean, it just culminated. This week culminated in me going, fuck this. I can't do this anymore. I can't. And I wanted to be as honest as possible, and I sat down to do the show earlier today, and it was bleak as fuck. I mean, it was. I felt it was, and I felt it was vague and it was bleak, and I did not feel right releasing it. And I can hear all of you right now thinking to yourselves, after the show we've just listened to, how fucking bleak could that possibly have been that he wouldn't release it? Oh my God. I mean, dude, we're standing on stools now with nooses around our necks from this fucking episode. Thank God you didn't put out the earlier one, because we'd have just jumped by now. You guys can get me at Mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me at Instagram.com. I'm Mike40YOB. And on Snapchat, I am also Mike40YOB. Our friend David Hernandez does all of the artwork for this show. He's the coolest guy ever, and his art for this week's show is amazing. And I was honored to see it. You guys can get him at artbydmh.com. Be his friend at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. But especially go to artbydmh.com. He's got all sorts of barbarian paintings. He's in a barbarian kick these days. So go check out the paintings that he's putting together and go ahead and buy those and hang them in your den. And when everybody goes, who's that fucking naked muscle guy in your wall? Just go, you know what? artbydmh.com. He's got all those things for sale, and he does great music. He actually did a new song for this week. And it tied in with the fact that I'm completely, whatever the fuck, you'll hear it. I'm about to play it. So you can find him at artbydmh.com. Ryan Dirks is the web guy for this show. You can find Ryan at facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. Be his friend there. And please remember that our friend Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show. You can be her friend at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. And I mean, you really can now. She's lost like 500 people in her political fucking genocide. These people have just bailed, or she's cut them loose. So she's got plenty of room for friends. So step up and be her friend if you'd like to at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. You can follow her at several different Twitter accounts. Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, Twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, Twitter.com/MNTs, and Twitter.com/Boobdini, where you can learn about all of her vagic exploits. I believe she's also in San Diego this week. There's tickets available for that. You can go to her page at Facebook, or go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas and find out about her tickets of her San Diego appearance. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and find out what time she's going to be here this morning so we can finally record this fucking show, you can get her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man time we stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn, but nobody's right if everybody's wrong. The young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs. Mostly say, hey, listen to our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep. Into your life it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. You got the wrong God, the men come and take you away. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Now, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ghetto to the left of us, flowers to the right. There'll be bread for all y'all if we can just bear.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. I was just at the Monday Night Teas. I can testify that it's a fantastic show. I don't know if I'm on trial here. Am I on trial here? Well, then you're out of order, and you're out of order. This whole fucking courtroom is out of order at 7:30 in the fucking morning or whatever time it is. It's early enough now that TVs are blaring and showers are going. And I'm sure they're going to wonder why the fuck I'm up shouting, although they think maybe I've just arrived up and shouting. Who knows? And also, you know, last week I didn't I was worried about doing these shows, and so like I said, don't think I'm going to be some weird rah-rah dude and making you guys, you know, I'm talking about non-zero days and stuff. I might talk about that. I talk about my 4 agreements and stuff, but it's stuff I kind of need right now, and hopefully it doesn't turn you off me and the show and send you running for higher ground. You know, I'm not going to be some fucking Mooney tries to get you to marry your sister. Unless that's the thing you're into. And if you are, by all means, invite me to that wedding. I want to see how that takes place. I want to see how mom and dad react. And I don't even know why I'm gun shy about this now. You know, you reveal a lot about yourself and you wonder what the fuck's going to happen and who cares. I've always tried to be as honest and truthful and fearless about this sort of shit as I can be, and to my detriment sometimes. But also to my benefit. Because you guys are pretty cool. So hopefully that's that. Who gives a fuck? Shut up. The Monday Night Teas at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. Tickets available now at Brown Paper Tickets. I don't know who's going to be there in the coming weeks. I know that last week was a good show. I don't think they're doing that retroactively. And Lily's now threatening to have me come and do some sets. You know, I'm not averse to that, I suppose. But again, just because it worked once doesn't mean it'll work again. Look at me already talking myself out of it. I need to be doing sets all over town is what I need to be doing, trying to get some sort of semblance of a career underneath me so I don't hide my apartment and hide from success, and I don't wind up when I'm fucking 70 writing on a goddamn legal pad. All right. So there you go, man. Monday Night Teas tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com. Go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas for all of the upcoming acts. Be a member of that page. Be a friend, and you'll learn who's coming and when they're going to be here and what that's going to do to you and your life and what your Monday is going to be when you're there and who you're going to see. So do that now. Idiot. So that's all available. Go to that stuff. Please remember that Monday Night Tees also has various shows, early shows every Monday. 2020 is coming up next week is my point. I will be there along with Chris Fairbanks, the incredibly funny, very talented Chris Fairbanks from the, I think it's called Need a Ride podcast, and also G4 and all sorts of television appearances. He's just the fucking funniest dude in the world. So Chris Fairbanks will be there. I'm there. And Pamela Walt will be there joining us. The very funny Pamela Walt will be joining us. Come out and check out the show next Monday. Monday Night Tees is after that, of course. But 2020 is at 7:30 next Monday, Monday the 13th. That's February 13th. We were going to be dark, but now I tell you why. We were supposed to do it on the 20th. It's the third Monday of every month. But Kuwait is calling. So I will be on a plane that night heading off to Kuwait. Hopefully nobody will be sitting next to me because I can't even imagine what that would be like on a 19-hour flight. But we'll see. I'm excited to fucking go. It's going to be great. Perhaps I'll film that. How uncomfortable would that be if I'm on the plane and somebody's sitting next to me and I film the entire 19 hours? I'll go live cam so you guys can check me out over Russia or whatever the fuck. But goddamn, I'm excited to go back to Kuwait. I'm thrilled. I like I said, I felt the last time I was there, I didn't do all that I could have done. I did a lot of cool stuff, but I kind of put a lot on Ahmad. I was like, all right, man, let's take me where we're going to go. And then there were 2 or 3 days where he was not available and I just kind of hung out in the hotel. I had an awesome experience, hiding my face so I didn't see any women one time when I stayed too late. I told you that story. Whatever, who cares? Hold on. Fucking yawns because again, now it's like I said, now it's fucking 7:30 in the morning, whatever time it is. I don't even know. Hold on, I'm going to look. Yeah, it's almost 7:30. No, it's 7:20. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see the numbers. Glasses. Remember that 5 hours ago? What the fuck? All right. So that's why 2020 got moved to the 13th. But it's me, Pamela Walt, headliner Chris Fairbanks. Very funny people are going to be in town next Monday. Please grab tickets. Come out and check us out. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the show. It should be fun. I'm going to be excited. And afterwards, we'll all go to the Oinkster for pork with Erica and Eric and their friends, perhaps. Or perhaps Kilt Bill will come to town and we'll go to Toy for Thai food. Who knows, man? Let's hang out on the 13th and have fun. That's what I want to do. What I really want to do is leave and go hide back in my apartment, but I'm trying to fix myself from doing that because I fucked up at Monday Night Tees. I actually left when I finished my set. I did the set. I sat down. I talked to some people and had a good time. There was an intermission, and then right when intermission was ending, I bailed. And I came home, and I hid under a blanket, and I watched some cooking shows. And I liked it. It was nourishing for my soul, but then I missed the cast photo. And Lily, afterwards, I forgot all about it until I went to Facebook and the cast photo went up and I'm like, fuck, I should have been there for that. And Lily then wrote me and said, I'm very disappointed you weren't in the cast photo tonight. I'm like, fuck, you should have reminded me. I totally forgot about it. I did the show and I bailed. She's like, I kind of recognize where you're at these days. So I knew you were going to be leaving. And I'm like, but that sucks. I'd rather be in a cast photo. So go to Monday Night Tees, have fun. Go to 2020 next week. Come up to me, say hi, have fun, and laugh. Say hi to our friends Tom and Patrick in the audience who always seem to come out, and Bill might not this time, but he might. Who knows? But come on out. It'll be a great time. Chris Fairbanks and Pamela Walt are very, very funny, and I'll do what I can to do the best I can. Right? Hold on. God damn it, yawning. Please go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Please. If you go, I promise not to yawn the rest of this podcast. Not a promise I can keep, asterisk. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Go to the Joe Business page. We got all sorts of cool stuff there at the Joe Business page. We've got download sets available. We've got, T-shirts available. Our friend Jeff just got his shirt. If you want to buy download sets, you want to buy years and have them available for walking around and all that neat stuff, that's pretty great. Anything you need or like is available there. That's probably not true, but there are some things available. Tweakedaudio.com. Go ahead and use our code 40-year-old boy. Please remember we have I should talk. Well, no, I'll talk about this. We have a sponsor, as I've talked about, our friend Jerome. And, I'll get to that in a second. Actually, let's put that off. Let's talk more about 2020. No, let's talk more about, God, I'm sorry. It's early. It's very early. It's late, but early, if you know what I mean. On the Joe Business page, use our Amazon link. That is very important. Using the Amazon link really helps the show. We get money, they get money, you get stuff. It's a perfect relationship. So what you do is you go to our 40-year-old boy store, and then you click through to the actual Amazon. And when you're there, just shop, and then we get credit for stuff. So that's pretty cool of you. Thank you so much for doing all sorts of things that make us happy and bring money to the show and support the show. I keep threatening to look for other ways to support the show, and that's coming up, I promise. Before I go to Kuwait, Patreon will be launched, he said, knowingly with a nod. Because that's another thing. Like I said, I've been in the house, but I haven't even been... you don't care. I talked about it. Shut up. Move forward. No more 0 days. No more 0 days. So... 2020 next week. Please remember, we got download sets. We've got the earbud deal with Tweak, tweaked.audio.com. Use 40YOB, use that code. And then the Amazon link, of course, you can go ahead and do that. That really helps out the show if you use our Amazon link. And our sponsor, Jerome, is at getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YOB on there as well. Jerome is at 40YOB. No, he's not. He's at getthebutters.com and use the code 40YOB. And I bring him up now because I have right here in my hand, if you hear it, a package from Jerome. Because I had been telling him, because again, I don't know if you know this, they have balms, they have bombs, they have butters, they have lubes. And I've been a pest. I'm like, well, we're sponsoring you, dude, so why don't we send some stuff for Lily, and she'd appreciate it. And look, I'm going to like some stuff too if there's anything in here for me. I don't know if there is, but I'm going to open it on the air. I've been waiting and holding on to it. But I wanted to, now this is going to be, okay, so that's sealed. All right, hold on. I have to tear open this envelope, and there's tape. Isn't this gripping radio when you hear me ripping open an envelope? God damn it. All right, so, hold on. Yeah, that tape is, oh, there we go. All right, and that opened. And I don't even, hold on. Is it wrapped in more packaging? Of course it is. Why would it just be in an envelope? So now it's in brown paper packaging. Oh, it's in a bag? No, it's in actual wrapping paper. And oh my God. All right, here's what we have. We have, what is this? This is shea butter with aloe vera. And it is an actual, it feels like a soap. I think this is a soap. Let's see here. Moisturizer, shea butter with, it might be in a jar. It's dark in my house because I turned off the lights. What are these? This is a cocoa butter and beeswax. I don't have my glasses on. Cocoa butter and raw honey lotion. All right, let me move that over here. Cocoa butter and beeswax styling grade. I don't know what you're styling with that. Again, oh, and who's this? Oh, look, coffee and sea salt. And there's no light. I'm leaning away so I can see light. Body and face scrub, coffee and sea salt, body and face scrub. And then there's this. This is Butters. Getthebutters.com. Looks like a talcum powder because there's like a weird thing on the top. And then here's more, let's see, cocoa butter and raw honey. And then this is the Butters body butter. So we've got body butter, we've got balms, but no balm. I don't think I have a balm in here, but it was cool enough for him to send me this stuff. And thank you, Jerome. You're the fucking coolest guy ever. So, and Lily's going to get her pick of a lot of this stuff. I'll let her go through first. But I got my eye on that coffee and sea salt thing for my face. God knows I love putting scrub on me. I love scrub. I'm a scrub guy. So go to getthebutters.com, use the code 40YOB, and you too can have some shea butter and aloe vera moisturizer, or some cocoa butter and raw honey lotion, or some coffee and sea salt face scrub. And grab all of these things. There's balms, there's butters, there's bombs, there's lubes. No lube in this package. It's a little odd. Honestly, I swear to God, I thought if he was going to send me anything, he would send me tons of lube. But perhaps that is that's a sale-only product. Maybe you can't ship it, at least to a P.O. box. I don't want to say any of that. Go buy cool stuff from Jerome at getthebutters.com. That's getthebutters.com and use the code 40YOB. And you'll get sea salt scrub, and you'll get all sorts of coffee and raw honey and body butter, and it's amazing. Thank you, Jerome, for shipping that, and go visit him, and he's our sponsor. And now let's get to this really quickly. I have here an envelope that arrived at the. I'm hesitant to do this. I went to the P.O. box. I knew Jerome was sending some stuff, and so I went to pick this up, and this envelope was in my box. And I will tell you this, there's no return address on the front or the back. There is a stamp, but there's no, it's like an automated postmark from San Diego. Okay. But here's my favorite part on here. The address to, I'm Mike Schmidt. Hi, host of the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. And the company that I have, at least for the time being, is Throat Punch Media. Throat Punch Media exists, correct? And there's a P.O. box, and it's in North Hollywood, and I can give you the address if you want it. Go ahead and write me if you want to send me anything. So I go and I grab this envelope out of the box. My name is Mike Schmidt. Hi, host of the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. This is addressed to Mike Smith. Now, I've been doing this show for 9 years. This person had to have contacted me at some point to get the P.O. box. They must know my name. So I'm only, as because I am a black and white person, I'm forced to believe that this was on purpose, that they decided to call me Mike Smith to make fun of me, or perhaps they're writing me from 20th Century Fox, who still makes out the checks for my appearance on The Jersey, which was a Disney show a million years ago. They still write my checks to Mike Smith. Even though I've called the payroll office and straightened it out twice, I'm still Mike Smith on their records. And my bank just cashes the checks. Like, they don't even fucking think about it. So this guy wrote Mike Smith. Now, and again, like I mentioned, Throat Punch Media, correct? Well, here's what this guy wrote on this envelope, or this woman, or whoever it is, this robot. I'm Mike Schmidt at Throat Punch Media. They addressed this to Mike Smith at Fruit Punch Media. Now, I will tell you this. I was like, I can't open this because there's no return address. Automated postmark, Mike Smith at Fruit Punch Media. So 2 insults right there on the front of the envelope. And no return address. This has to be filled with anthrax, right? Or Ebola. It has to have that in there. There's the SARS virus somebody mailed to me. So I wrote this and I put it on social media. I put it on Facebook. And then I said, I'm not opening this. And people were like, oh my God, you got to open that on the air. And then Lily said, well, you're not opening that at my house. And I wrote her, I was like, well, you're not serious. And she's like, no, that just doesn't seem right. So I'm wondering if she canceled this week, knowing full well that Mike Smith from Fruit Punch Media may be getting the business out of this envelope. I don't know, but I've waited. And believe me, it took everything I had to wait as long as I did, because I'm intrigued by the insult. But I also, I didn't want to have weaponized chemicals in my house for this fucking long. If I'm going to die, I want to die quick. So let's, all of us together, open this envelope for Mike Smith at Fruit Punch Media. And by the way, how great is the name Fruit Punch Media? When I put it up, my friend Adam just goes, I actually like the name Fruit Punch Media now. And I went, damn it, so do I. And I wish I did not, but I absolutely loved the name Fruit Punch Media. I thought it was fantastic. All right, let me pull this out here. This is a, okay. It is a blank piece of notebook paper. This is weird. All right. Mike Smith at Fruit Punch Media. It's a blank piece of notebook paper, but they have, Jesus Christ. They sent me coupons. Like here in my head, honestly, I make a joke out of this and I'm going to open it on the air, and then I think it's going to be a funny thing. But it's also going to be something cool because you guys always send me cool stuff or stuff that's interesting or funny. This guy sent me, and he whoever this person is, they cut the coupons up. There's coupons for Wiener Schnitzel. I don't have the lights on here. There's a coupon for arthritis tablets. There's coupons here for, let's see, paper plates and rice. Again, it's dark, so I'm having trouble reading these things. And these are literally save $1.50 on this. Save 50 cents on eggs. Save 35 cents on, 75 cents on super pretzels that are frozen. And that's it. There's a pile of them. There's got to be 25 coupons here. $3 off Abreva, whatever the fuck that is. This isn't even. Well, I tell you what. And there's a million Wiener Schnitzel coupons. I don't. Here's the thing. All right, because I don't know how to interpret this kind of stuff. I see this and I wonder if a couple of different things. One, someone's being cute. and they're like, dude, that's hilarious. Here's a bunch of coupons because someone sent you a bunch of razors. It'll be funny. But the fact that they didn't sign it and they fucked me on the envelope and they sent me these coupons, it makes me wonder if somebody thinks I'm asking for money too much or I'm broke or something. Because you know me, I want to ascribe meaning where there is no meaning at all. But it just seems ridiculous that someone would go to the trouble of cutting all of these coupons and then not this is not funny. Like, this is not them saying, hey man, we're all in this together. This is hilarious. No, they fucked my name up twice on the envelope, and then they sent me a bunch of coupons and a blank piece of paper. They didn't go. It wasn't like a chiding, like, hey, Mike, hilarious. They gotta give you a bunch of razors. Well, here, now you can save some money on some shopping. No, this is kind of a fuck you, right? Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. So I'm glad I wasted my time and opened that on the air. Fantastic. And look, and by the way, this is for a snapshot into my psyche. You can see me twisting myself in knots over this right now because I'm really firmly believing that this is an insult or someone making fun of me. I'm sure they're not. I'm not. Actually, I apologize. I'm not sure they're not. I'm imagining they're probably not. But I don't know why someone would take the time to trim and cut like 25 coupons out of the newspaper and then send them to me without a signature on the piece of paper at all. Save $5 at Walgreens on I don't know, this Pepsi. Yeah, I don't fucking get it. I don't know. All right, well, thanks, Mike Smith. Or you know what? Technically, what if, now that I think about it, what if at my fucking post office there is a Mike Smith from Fruit Punch Media and I mistakenly got his package? See, that's what I'm going to choose to believe. Rather than think that somebody was thinking that I ask for money all the fucking time or they're making fun of me for being poor or broke and they're sending me coupons because I'm a dick. I'm going to choose to believe that there is a Mike Smith from Fruit Punch Media, and he is very disappointed right now because he was expecting tons of Wiener Schnitzel coupons in the mail from somebody in San Diego. But now he's screwed. Now he's going to have to go pay full price for a chili dog, and that's my fucking fault. I should have immediately handed it back to them and said, look, this isn't me, but I thought we were all in this together and we were having some fun, and somebody was like, haha, Mike Smith at Fruit Punch instead of Mike Schmidt at Throat Punch. So I thought it was pretty cool, and now here's what I've done. I've stolen lunch. I've stolen lunch from Mike Smith at Fruit Punch Media, and he's never going to forgive me. And I feel awful about it because, you know what? If anything, everyone should get a lunch or at least $5 off a lunch or $2 off a lunch or whatever the fuck these other people. I mean, what's this coupon for? Advil, and you know what? I need to fucking cash that in because I got a goddamn fucking headache here just thinking about the fact that somebody would fuck me by sending me a million fucking coupons because, you know, it's not like you want to hook people in, get them halfway through a recipe and cut your fucking show in half. That's it. Do an hour about stew and then bail and get on a plane and then come back and revisit it 2 days later because that's the most important stew in the universe. Were there noodles or rice involved? Stay tuned!
We here, we are playing on a level that most will never see.